with you. Sports Radio 94, WIP. Jack Fritz behind the glass. Rob Cherry in your updates. And, of course, you guys on the lines. 888-729-9494. As this city gets set for something that none of us, I really think, ever could have imagined. No, I think we all imagined the Eagles would win the Super Bowl one day. Or at least you hope they would win the Super Bowl one day. But the one thing I never imagined was what this city would look like and what it would be like for a Super Bowl parade. And that's what's going down tomorrow morning into tomorrow afternoon. We're doing the show live tomorrow night at Chickies and Pete's. Come on out after what should just be an amazing day for the city of Philadelphia. What should be an amazing day for every member of the Eagles. And really what should be an amazing day just for everyone here. I mean, this is a celebration of Philadelphia. It's a celebration of football. It's a celebration of the Eagles, Eagles fans. It's amazing that we get a chance to be part of this thing tomorrow. And I'm sure tonight we'll talk a little bit about the parade and what tomorrow's going to be like, what you're wearing, because from what I understand, everyone out there is buying every single piece of gear and merchandise you could possibly buy. Jack Fritz dropped a pretty sizable amount of money today at the Eagles Pro Shop.
Just a bit.
You know what? It's all worth it.
You only Super Bowl once, Joe. That was my opinion. And my fiance is now getting all in on the bird, so I, of course, I had to take care of her to make sure she's good for the parade tomorrow. So it took a little bit extra. It was well worth it. I didn't care.
They won the Super Bowl. It doesn't matter. And you know what? I think most people are just like you, Jack, and everyone out there is either going to the Pro Shop tonight, went this morning, went yesterday. We got a call last night from someone saying that he went to Dick's, the sporting goods store, and the line was out the window at like 7:30 at night. So I expect that same kind of thing between now and everyone's going to be all just geared up for this parade tomorrow. I cannot wait. 888-729-9494. That gets you aboard. Pound 949 to hop in. All right, tonight we will talk to Robert Mays of The Ringer at 7 o'clock. He is really one of the best NFL writers out there. He was there in Minnesota all week last week, wrote a whole bunch of really good stuff leading into the game, and wrote a story this week, to start this week, about how the Eagles really had the best roster in the NFL, and it was their coronation on Sunday to show the world how good they were, how well coached they were, and just how dominant they could be when they were at their best. We'll talk to Robert at 7 o'clock. Here's where I want to start with tonight's show. And I know the emotions are still high. I keep watching every single replay, every single tweet the Eagles put out with a video. I'm watching it. I just can't get enough of the nuances of Super Bowl 52, of how the Eagles did it, of where they went from to start that game to how they finished it, the offensive dominance, how great Doug's play calling was, how the execution was off the charts. They didn't just win the Super Bowl. They played a dynamite game on the biggest stage. Nick Foles didn't just win the Super Bowl. He went blow for blow with Tom Brady, the greatest quarterback of all time. Brandon Graham didn't just make a strip sack in the fourth quarter of a Super Bowl. He made the play that will live in Eagles lore forever. Zach Ertz didn't just make a touchdown catch in a big moment. He made the biggest catch on the biggest drive in Eagles history. Everyone seemed to play so well, especially on the offense. And I think there was a point in that game where I started to truly believe they could win it, and it was the Philly special play. That was the play where I said, you know what? They really can win this thing. Because even though when they were up early and they were moving the football and all that, it was like, all right, it's the Patriots, it's Brady, it's all this stuff that we've seen. We've seen this story a million times. And I know the Brandon Graham sack was the one, and the strip sack was the one that probably really made you feel like, oh my God, they're going to do it. But the Philly special play, which I think will live in lore forever, as long as WIP exists, someone sitting in this chair will talk about the Philly special. And then the way it went down with Nick calling the play and Doug saying, yeah, let's do it. And the execution. But that was the moment for me within the game on Sunday where I said, they can win this thing. They really can win this thing. And I felt confident that they would win it going in, but we all have our moments in a game where you got to kind of feel it out and see how it's going. But I thought during the game on Sunday, I said, they can win this thing right now. 22-12, boom, into the half. That was the moment for me where I said, they got it. And I thought no matter what the Patriots did, and they had a big second half, the Patriots, but they didn't punt the entire game. But I thought that put the Eagles up enough and gave them momentum enough that no matter what the Patriots did in the second half, they weren't going to zoom past them. They were not. It was going to be a game no matter what, down the stretch. It was going to be a game the whole way. And you just think back to those moments. There's so many moments that happen in that game. And I think because of the euphoria and the way we've spoken about the game the last couple nights, and just the happiness that this city has right now, I don't think that we've really touched on the different little moments of the game enough. Because there's been just so many. And they're coming back to me now in different ways because I keep seeing replays. And I keep seeing the different plays and moments. And, I mean, the throws Nick made on third down, insane. The catches, Aguilar was so good in that game. 9 catches. Here's a stat for you. Nelson Aguilar had 9 catches from, I believe, week 9 on last season. Like the whole second half of the year, he had 9 total catches in 2016. He had 9 catches in the Super Bowl on the biggest stage and the biggest game of his life. And the Philadelphia Eagles were the better team. They played like it, and they dominated that football game. And now we get to have this amazing coronation for them tomorrow. And I'm just so excited for the city. I'm so excited for everyone out there that's going to be a part of this parade or watching this parade or experiencing it in any way, because you deserve it. You deserve to go there tomorrow, decked out in every single piece of Eagles gear you bought over the last couple days, and just have the time of your life. And I think it's going to just be this joyous, happy day for all of Philadelphia tomorrow. It's going to be a day that Philadelphia shows itself to the world, I think in a great way, too. And I don't think there's going to be any nonsense tomorrow where national media is going to come and say, oh, look what happened at the parade. No, I think it's going to be a festive atmosphere, a fun atmosphere, one you like heard Ike saying before, you bring your kid to. It's just going to be a perfect day. And you know what? I got to give the city credit, because when I first heard that they were going to move this thing from what was supposed to be or could be Wednesday, which is today, to tomorrow, which is Thursday, I said, it feels like a long time. But you know what? The weather was awful today. It would have been a damper on what is going to be a great day tomorrow, even though it's cold. It was the right decision, and I think it's just built. The fact that we've waited now 3-4 days for this parade, it's just building and building and building. That makes it even better. Most teams don't do this. Most teams have a parade Tuesday, Wednesday. I would think that's typically for the Super Bowl. Tuesday, Wednesday is parade day. I think when I lived down in Baltimore for the 2012 season, the year the Ravens beat the 49ers, I think it was on a Tuesday. So typically Tuesdays are parade day. And if for whatever reason that wasn't in play, then, the next day is Wednesday. All right, well, that's not going to work either because of the weather. So Thursday became it. At first, I was like, I don't know. You know what? This was the right decision. It was the right idea. And now we get this. We get this special day in Philadelphia tomorrow. 888-729-9494, pound 9494 to hop on it as it kind of continues to sink in. And I keep just replaying all those moments from that game in my mind. Let's talk to Mike in Willingboro up first tonight. What's up, Mike?
Hey, how you doing, Joe?
Good, buddy.
Good. Joe, I got one comment to make about the previous show where Reese was talking about the veterans. Let me tell you something.
I didn't hear, Mike, I didn't hear what Ike said, so I couldn't hear it.
No, it wasn't you. I'm talking about what Reese, you weren't there, but he was talking about the veterans that played for the Eagles before, and they came back to serve the city.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, really, them guys are and even the players tried to tell us, let's tell you something. They left, they came back, they served the city, they fundraisers, trying to raise money for hospitals, and they didn't win a Super Bowl, but they did. By doing that, they won a Super Bowl.
Sure. I mean,
all the ones that left and came back.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think everyone associated with the Eagles, Mike, and I didn't hear it, so I don't want to comment on whatever the conversation was because I didn't hear that particular part of it. But here's my take on whatever alum we're talking about. Every Eagle that ever suited up, I feel like won the Super Bowl on Sunday. I really do. And not just the ones that suited up on Sunday. I feel like this title was for everyone, was for the city, was for the fan base, and was for all those ex-Eagles, especially the ones that came close at some point. Especially the ones like the 04 team that were knocking on the door to win at some point. It was for them. It was for them. Let's talk to Phil in Jenkintown. What's going on, Phil?
Hey, how are you? I just wanted to say that I'm happy. I think that next year, Carson Wentz will have an opportunity to hopefully revisit the Super Bowl. And he probably will have a less likely chance to get cold feet because he's been on the stage and he's seen, the grand nature of it. And I'm just excited for the Super Bowl next year, and I think we'll be facing the Texans, and that's all I got to say.
Texans, Eagles. Phil, appreciate the phone call. Look, it's a long way away, but I heard Michael Kendricks on the NFL Network actually yesterday predict it and say they're going back, and they're going to be there 364 or 363 days from then. And I wouldn't be surprised. My first instinct whenever we're having this kind of conversation is, well, it's hard. You know, it's going to be hard to do it again, to get up again for it, to go through the grind again for it, all that kind of stuff. It's tough. But I do think this Eagles team is special. And I do think this group is special. They have a lot of guys coming back. There's a lot of reason to believe that this is just the beginning of the run. They have a whole bunch of these guys signed up for years, not just next year, but years. Years. This run, 2017 Eagles will live in lore in Philadelphia. It will be one of the great teams we talk about forever. It might be the greatest team this city's ever had in anything. Certainly the most beloved now. But 2018 and 2019, 2020, it's going to be pretty darn good too. It really is. 888-729-9494, pound 9494. Your AT&T Verizon wireless cell phones. We got a lot to get into tonight. Like I said, Robert Mays is coming up at 7 o'clock from The Ringer. We're going to talk about the parade, and I want to know what you're doing tomorrow, because I feel like everyone that listens to WIP is going to be at that parade. So we'll talk parade. I've got some tips and strategy and some things I've kind of gathered about logistics for this thing. So I want to help everyone out there to try to get out there and find a spot and have a great time. Also, throw this in the mix too, and we'll get into this on the other side. When Carson Wentz went down, there were some of us that believed wholeheartedly this thing would not go off the rails. Some people were doubters. Some people took some time. I was thinking about this morning as I watched the replay. When I truly started to believe, after Carson's injury, this team could still win the Super Bowl. And clearly, if you listen to me, you know, it wasn't when Carson went down. It took me some time. It took some good play out of them to finally convince me, you know what? They're going to win it. They still can win it. So when was that moment for you? Because we all probably have a different moment where you start to realize, you know what? They still can do this. They still can do this. They're still good enough, well coached enough. And you know what? Screw it. Go win the whole thing. 888-729-9494, pound 9494 on your AT&T Verizon wireless cell phones. Joe Giglio hanging out with you. 6:21 on a Wednesday night. Joe Giglio hanging out with you. Sports Radio 94 WIP. Jack Fritz behind the glass. We have Rob Cherry in the updates. You guys with us. 888-729-9494. As we wait now it's a countdown. Now it is a countdown to what tomorrow will be, which is just an amazing, amazing day for this city. The parade and everything it's going to be. And I love that we're going to have the coverage there all day long. You got Marks and Reese are going to be part of this thing. You got Angelo starting in the morning all the way up. And tomorrow night at 6 o'clock, I will be at Chickies as I guess the party will wind down, but I'm not even sure how it's going to wind down. Let's talk to John in Drexel Hill. What's up, John?
Hey, guys, great show.
Thanks, buddy. What's up?
Before the break, you asked, what was that moment, you know, when you sort of thought that they might have a chance to win the Super Bowl? I mean, I tell you what, when the Super Bowl started, I thought they had a chance, right? But when they made that play, Nick Foles catching that ball in the end zone,
yep.
I was jumping up and down on the couch, and I'm like, holy crap, they're going to win this.
That was the one, John. That was it for me during that game. And there were so many great moments in that game that will live here forever. But that play, it's on TV in front of me right now. The Philly special was when I said, you know what? The Eagles are going to win this football game.
Yes, exactly. That was when it was like locked in. I'm like, oh my God, they're going to win. And it got to the point where the guy next to me at the party I was at, with a minute left, Tom Brady gets the ball. And normally you're like having an absolute heart attack that with a minute left, Tom Brady was with the ball.
Of course, because that's what Tom Brady does.
Yeah. But normally I'm freaking out. This time I'm like, we got this. And it was because of that Foles play. So that was it for me. The other thing I want to tell you, so my company's out in Chester County, and we're one of those businesses that there's no way we can close down, and we really can't afford to lose anybody. So my boss let us turn all the TVs on that normally are showing financial stuff. All the TVs are going to be turned to the parade, and we invited our customers and people in the neighborhood to come watch it with us.
That's awesome, so John. That's awesome, because at least then, look, I know there's going to be millions of people there, and almost everyone in this city is going to find a way to get there. But if you can't, At least you have that outlet. Or, and look, we're going to be talking about it all day. So you have the radio, you have WIP, you have TV if you want to watch it. Everyone's going to experience it in one way or another.
Yep. Yeah, it's a cool way. I mean, for any employers out there, it's a cool way to blend it. Anybody that you can't let go, let them stream it on their computer or just bring in a TV and just put it on.
Well, here's the thing, John. We appreciate the call. I think employers have to realize, or teachers have to realize, or colleges have to realize, everyone, if they can't go, they're going to watch it anyway. So you might as well let them do it because they're not going to miss this thing for the world. Let's talk to Tom in Wilmington. What's up, Tom? Hey, Tommy. All right, put Tom on hold. We'll grab Mike in Westchester. What's up, Mike?
Yo, Joe, I am so pumped up for this parade tomorrow. We're headed into Philly. My buddy lives at like 18th and Washington. I don't really think my wife knows what this is gonna be like, and I like that you want to talk logistics. I'm a civil engineer, and a bunch of us guys were talking before I left the office. We're hearing how many people are going to be going into the city, and we were just looking at it from a space perspective. The parade route's about 4.5 miles long. You figure maybe 100 feet wide you can fit people. That's 2.5 million square feet of space. How much space does one person take? If one person takes up 5 square feet, you're looking at 500,000 people. They're talking about 2.5 million or 5 million people. How the hell are people going to fit in that space?
I have no idea, Mike, but here's what I know. This city is going to find a way to do it because people are going to squeeze in as tight as they have to, because I don't think there's anyone out there that will say, you know what, it's going to be too crowded, I don't want to go. People are going to want to be there.
So what time do you think you need to get down to the art museum to actually get a good space?
It's a good question. From what I was reading today and listening to and hearing, I think if you're going to drive in, are you driving in or are you taking public transportation?
We're driving in tonight, spending the night at my buddy's place.
Well, that makes sense. And they're good because I think driving is probably almost impossible tomorrow if you want to get there and park your car somewhere.
Right.
But I do think, look, if the parade starts at 11, I think you got to be set up a couple hours at least before that. Otherwise, it's going to be a mess.
Right. Yeah, I mean, do you think people are going to watch the parade at one point and then try to get to the art museum after the parade goes by?
Maybe, but I think it's one of those things. If I was doing it that way, I feel like I wouldn't move and wouldn't be able to move. I would just try to, park and get myself in at least one spot to enjoy it there. Mike, we appreciate the phone call. I don't know. I mean, I know it wasn't that long ago, but the logistics of this feel so much different than the Phillies parade. And we had 2.5 million, whatever it was for the Phillies parade. This is going to be bigger. And it's just, the whole event feels crazier. And I think part of that too is you kind of had an idea of when it would be. With the Phillies, in a World Series and a series, you don't know when the series is going to end. You know when Super Bowl Sunday is. You knew the Eagles were in it. So you kind of plan out, I'm going to come to Philadelphia this week and just be part of this thing. So people have hotels. People came in here. It's a lot. Let's talk to Adam in Bensalem. What's up, Adam?
Hey, Joe. Go Birds.
Go Birds, Adam. What's up, buddy?
So currently I am driving from Alexandria, Virginia, up to Philadelphia to stay with my friends so I can be a part of this parade. I was lucky enough to watch it with my wife and a whole bunch of friends down there. And I got to tell you, the one moment in the Super Bowl where I thought we got this was when Rodney McLeod took down Brandon Cooks when Brandon Cooks tried to jump over him.
Yeah, when he tried to hurdle him and he just that tackle,
yeah.
it looked like a spine buster. If you're an old WWF fan, that looked like it was a wrestling move.
Yeah, I remember watching that and screaming, "You will go nowhere," and knowing in that moment, like, we're not going to give up. They can't do anything to us that we can't handle.
Hey, you know what I loved about that, Adam? I loved that after that play, they went for a field goal. It showed the opposite, how these two teams were different in the game, where the Eagles, ultra aggressive, Doug's not kicking field goals, they want touchdowns. The Patriots kicked a field goal after that, or tried.
Yeah, and I remember, I'll tell you, I was not confident in the Eagles going into the Atlanta game. The second Julio Jones dropped that pass, and I woke up the next morning and saw that Minnesota won, I knew Doug Peterson can't be beat by another coach. We are going to beat Minnesota, and we're going to put up a heck of a fight in the Super Bowl because Doug Peterson isn't Andy Reid where he's like, oh, we got a lead, we're going to stay back on it. He plays to win all the time, and that's what it takes to win in this league.
It does, and he's got that about him, and the team Adam feeds off it. Appreciate the call, buddy. I love that. I am just blown away by how the Doug Peterson conversation has changed and really changed so dramatically over the past couple of months, where in September, we had questions of if Doug Peterson was a good coach. And I always liked Doug, and I always want to give him the benefit of the doubt, but nobody thought he could be this good. And now to hear that feeling is permeated that, when we got Doug. We've got Doug Peterson on our side, so we're not going to lose. It's something most fan base in the NFL don't trust their coach that much. Even guys that have won before. But Doug has completely earned that trust. Let's talk to Tim. Tim, you need to be convinced to go to the parade, man. What's going on?
Yeah, man, I need your help. I think about the logistics, and it just makes me want to cry.
All right, so Tim, where are you from? You from out of town, or are you from in the city?
I'm from out of town. I'm in just across the river from Bucks County.
Okay. So you got to drive yourself in, or you could try to take a train down.
Yeah, I think I probably got to drive down, and I went to the Phillies parade. I remember I just basically drove into the city until I couldn't get any farther parked and walked, But I want to try to get to the museum, and I'll get there early. But yeah, man, I know this is a once in a lifetime opportunity, but it's just the thinking about trying to get down there is. You got to convince me to go, man.
Here's why you have to go, Tim, because exactly what you just said. No matter what happens, and I think the Eagles are going to be good for a while, Tim, so you might be able to go to another one. There's never going to be one like this one. There's never a first one. There's never a first one. I actually heard this morning, Al, in the morning, they were talking on the morning show, and Al talked about the Red Sox in 2004 when they won. And look, they've won 3 times over the last decade or so. They've become one of baseball's best teams. But there's nothing like that first one. Like that first Red Sox parade the Cubs won in 2016. That's what's coming here tomorrow, Tim. You can't miss this. This has been forever. They've waited forever to throw this party. It's the biggest Eagle party ever. You got to be there, man.
All right. I'm going to go, man. Go Birds.
Go Birds. Yeah, I got Tim to go. There we go.
It's a pretty easy convincing.
It wasn't hard.
Come on.
All I said is Red Sox and Cubs. And he's like, yeah, I'll go. Let's talk to John out in Bayville. What's up, John?
Hey, what's up, guys? Thank you for taking my call. I'm ecstatic over this, man. I got to tell you what I did after the end of that Super Bowl game. I have my 2 dogs. I got a pug and I got this little mixed dog. Their reward was I opened up a can of New England clam chowder. I said, dogs, laugh it up, baby.
Did they like it?
They absolutely loved it.
I wonder if they had any idea what's going on. They've got you, John, screaming and yelling, and all of a sudden you're giving them food they never had before. It probably was a weird night for the dogs.
Oh, man. But I just want to say something tomorrow about that parade. I honestly hope that old guy, that 99-year-old dude, Norm, I hope they have him up on a float tomorrow.
Well, they should. If not on a float, he should be center stage at the end of the parade. So he could be there and sit and watch and take the whole thing in when it ends at the Art Museum. You're right, John. He's got to be a part of this thing. I don't know in terms of celebrity fans, which he's become. Right. I don't know how it's going to be set up, but yeah, he's got to get something.
Oh yeah, definitely, man. And I'm so happy for Selleck too, because I always call in and I talk about Selleck. I'm so happy for him. I mean, I'm just ecstatic, man.
Oh, he waited so long. He was through so much here, John. It's amazing you think about it. As Selleck was such a big part of their team and their offense all those years ago, and then as the years went on, he's changed. He's become a vet and a blocker, and he's not the guy that's the playmaker anymore. But he's still out there. He still has a role. Remember back to the NFC title game against the Cardinals. He had a bunch of catches in that game. He was one of the best offensive players in the field, and he had to wait all those years to get back close, even close to that spot. Let's talk to Drew in Levittown. What's up, Drew? Hey, Drew.
Hey, I'm here.
I'm here too, buddy. What's going on?
Hey, I just want to, I didn't want to touch too much on the parade. I'm a little salty. I can't get out of work, so I can't go. But I wanted to talk about how unique so many little different things are. You got LeGarrette Blount, you got Chris Long. They both played on the Patriots last year, won a ring. Now they're playing on the Eagles this year, won a ring, and they beat the team that they won it with. Not to mention, you got all these first-year players. You got Mills, Wentz, Sidney Jones, who didn't even touch the field until the Dallas game, and that was just so we could see what he had. Are all walking away with their rings. I mean, these guys are going to live off of that, the motivation in their first season for so many seasons to come. You know what I mean?
Oh, there's no doubt, Drew. I think they've set something up here where this thing could keep feeding off itself, both with the players and the coaches, and you mentioned Carson, who didn't even get a chance to be part of this on the field down the stretch of the season. He's going to come back hungrier than ever. I mean, they've set up a culture here, Drew, that could last for a long time.
And the greatest thing is, like, you got, like Mills. I mean, how many snaps did they say he played in the Minnesota game and in the Falcons game? I don't even know if I heard the stat for the Super Bowl game, but look at the experience that guy got. Like, he's going to carry that and be one of our top quarterbacks, and he's going to help Sidney Jones next season, because he's got the experience now. He's been in the playoffs. He's been in the big games. He's been the guy that had to cover Julio Jones, had to cover Dune. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and he actually played hurt. I saw Mills with Alshon, Mills. Who else was with him? Ertz, Alshon, Mills, Ertz, a couple other guys. Nelson, one more was with and Chris Long. They were on the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon. Mills has a cast on his wrist. He got hurt in that game.
And it came out later that Brandon Graham had a hamstring strain. So maybe that's why he wasn't in later in the game. Obviously, he was there for the big play.
Right.
But I remember looking over the sideline, and it was like with 2 minutes left.
He was on the sideline?
Early in the final drive. And I was like, that's weird. Why is Brandon Graham out?
Yeah, he's got to be in the game at that point. He was hurt. Yeah, and Mills apparently told Jimmy Fallon last night he got hurt at some point earlier in the game. It wasn't towards the end. So he played with the sprained thumb or broken hand or whatever it is.
Was it too much finger wagging?
There's no such thing for Jalen.
There's never too much finger wagging?
That index finger, that one can't break.
I do remember that he was on the sideline at one point. So
yeah, I don't know when he got hurt. I can't think off the top of my head of a tackle that he got shaken up on, but he stayed in there. He was on the final drive, and they all earned it. 888-729-9494, pound 9494. That is how you get in. We come back, couple things. One, got to play for you. Today, Doug Peterson has kind of his final press conference with the media, and he said something that is going to fire every single one of you up. We'll play it for you when we get back. What Doug had to say today about the future of the Philadelphia Eagles. And when did you know? When did you start to truly believe, after Carson Wentz went down, that this team was going to still win the Super Bowl? Because we had those conversations before Carson got hurt, but not everybody felt it the whole way through. When was your moment? When did you say, you know what? They're going to do this. They're still going to do this. 888-729-9494. Joe Giglio hanging out with you. 6:43 on a Wednesday night. Joe Giglio hanging out with you. Sports Radio 94 WIP. We've got Jack Fritz behind the glass. We've got Rob Cherry on the updates. You guys with us. 888-729-9494, pound 9494 to hop on in. Doug Peterson today had his final press conference with the media, which it's amazing because last year, if you remember back, Doug Peterson didn't have a press conference with the media. He didn't have a final one to end the season.
They didn't allow him to talk.
No, it was out.
The Eagles didn't want him to talk.
And I remember it vividly, Jack, because I was filling in that day for Angelo. It was right around New Year's. I think they played the final game of the 2016 season on January 1st, 2017. So it was holiday time, as the end of the year tends to be. So Angelo wasn't back, and it was a Monday, and I was filling in with whoever was with me. And I asked, are we going to have Doug on? Because it's Monday. And then I guess someone from the Eagles said, no, he's not going to be around that week. So he didn't even speak. He didn't have an end-of-the-year press conference. This year was a little different. He got to have one, after they won the Super Bowl. And it was a variety of questions today. It was mostly stuff about just how excited everyone in the city is, the parade tomorrow, what they accomplished. But there was one part that Doug talked about today that I loved. His end of season, his end of everything, message to the team and what he expects and what he thinks this thing could become. Here's Doug Peterson on the future of the Eagles.
There's a side of success that's not the glamorous side. It's the side that, who's gonna hold out in OTAs, who's going to want the next big contract, who's gonna, miss this or that for an endorsement deal, an autograph signing. It's not the not so glamorous side of success, and that was a little bit of the messaging this morning to the guys. And I told them, I said, if you want, get used to this. This is the new norm in Philadelphia, playing and hopefully playing into February every year. It's the new norm. So get used to it. Short off seasons and let's do that.
I'm going to need that on a t-shirt, Jack. This is the new norm.
On my gravestone.
Jack Fritz. Here lies Jack Fritz. This is the new norm.
Dead?
Well, you said it's your gravestone.
Yeah, but it's pretty messed up.
But you said it.
Yeah, but then you doubled down. I didn't like that you doubled down.
Oh, you know what? You can buy your own stone way before you pass away. So you could put it on there now, and then you'll still be here doing the show.
Okay, a preemptive gravestone?
Yeah, I always thought that was weird, but people do it. Anyway, this is the new norm. I love that. And I love that Doug Peterson didn't just say, getting to the playoffs, getting to January football is the new norm. No. February. You know what's in February every year? The Super Bowl. We've been talking about how the Eagles could be special for a while. This isn't a one-time thing. Well, the head coach believes it too. 888-729-9494, pound 9494. When you hop on in, parade, birds, excitement. And when was that moment for you on Sunday when you said, you know what? They're going to win the game. Jack, when was the moment for you? Sunday night, when did you sit there and feel like they're going to win this thing?
Well, here's the thing. I was confident the whole game, and I even when things were going, even when they went down 33-32, I was always confident. But I thought they were going to lose when Brady got the ball with like 2:20 left. Because I've just seen that story 1,000 times. We've all seen that story 1,000 times.
It's the same thing over and over.
It's Brady. He's the ball. He has one final drive to win the Super Bowl. He's done it multiple times, and I was just like, wow, this is really going to happen. This is how it's going to go down again. So really, I wasn't fully confident until the strip sack.
Because they got the ball back.
Yeah, they stopped the Brady momentum.
They stopped him from doing what he does every time. It wasn't they just stopped Brady. And it was the only way they could stop him. It was their first sack of the game. It was the first turnover. They got it. So Jack had the strip sack. I had the Philly special. I just felt like a 22-12. I know the game had a lot more to it, but I felt good they were going to win the game. That the Patriots couldn't stop Doug Peterson's offense. And I knew it at that point. Leo's on the cell. What's up, Leo?
Hey, how's it going? I wanted to give you some credit here on in the airtime in Baltimore for the Fisher tweet, landing on your feet.
Which one was that?
About Fisher finding a tweet on Foles saying, I hope you land on your feet.
Oh, Jeff Fisher. Yeah, no, it was that one took off, and I put it up there just because I thought the messaging there was so cool. Like Nick Foles was embarrassed on national TV, embarrassed on Hard Knocks, got cut on a phone call, and look at him now.
So I've been listening. I work in Baltimore. I live in Westchester. So I've been listening a little bit to hear what they have to say. And when they said, Joe Giglio, I was like, I know that guy. I'm yelling at the radio. So it's been great. It's been great to hear you around, too.
That's fun. That is funny, Leo. I appreciate that.
The thing that, for me, just like you said, when it came down to that strip sack, that was great, but it was definitely the Philly special. And at that point, too, I'm still thinking, you know what, the defense is going to turn it on. And a 22-12 lead was going to be really safe, and never got that, so never got to really relax.
No, the whole game was not relaxed because really, for the most part, Brady was unstoppable. I mean, they didn't punt once the entire game. The Eagles won a Super Bowl in which the opponent didn't punt. It's crazy to think about.
It is. Hey, last point. So there's a girl who comes down from Woodstown. She commutes with me to Baltimore, and she's going to the parade tomorrow with some of her girlfriends. And the big thing they're all worried about is finding a spot to pee when they need to.
Yeah, porta potties with 5 million people. I have no idea how that's going to work out. My advice there would be to park themselves near where they think there's a bathroom, so at least you kind of know if you got to move in and out, you could go do it. But yeah, that's a worry to think about. Leo, I appreciate the call. Jack, you just going to hold it all day? I mean, what do you do?
Well, you got a choice. I mean, you're going to have to hold it.
It's almost like Times Square on New Year's Eve.
Yeah. I think the adrenaline is going to be going so much that you won't have to worry about it.
I think the same works for the cold tomorrow. It's supposed to be pretty cold tomorrow, but I don't think anyone's going to care.
As long as it wasn't today. Today would have been a nightmare. It was so brutal out.
The city was right. Because that's why they didn't have it today. They said the weather. I mean, maybe there was something else that went into it, but the weather was the big consideration why it wasn't today. And it's true. It really is true. It was awful today. Mark is down in Atlanta. What's up, Mark?
What's up, buddy? Feeling it and waiting for these birds to come here next year. Woo!
That's right. Super Bowl 53 down in Atlanta.
Yeah. So listen, first I want to say Foles really, I mean, he outplayed Brady. The throw, he made more touch throws that were accurate. I mean, just phenomenal. And two, I'm excited about next year. I think our secondary still needs to be upgraded. I love Jalen Mills. But I think if Sidney Jones is as good as advertised, this defense is going to get better. And if Jordan Hicks and the gang can come back, man, this future is bright. I just don't like the fact that teams are after our coaches now because I just like the continuity, at least for one more year, so we can get back there with no problem.
Yeah, I hear you, though, Mark. That's the price of success. And, yeah, there's two out there right now. And I don't know. I think if Frank Reich gets that offer, he's got to take it, Mark. He's going to go become the Colts coach if he gets the offer. And as far as DiFilippo, I mean, it makes sense if Frank Reich leaves that DiFilippo just becomes the offensive coordinator here and they are able to keep at least one of these guys. But my only fear is if the Vikings, who are going to interview him, offer him play calling duties, which even if he stays here under Doug, he's not the one calling the plays.
Right.
So they could lose both, maybe just one, but yeah, that's the one thing. You never want to lose anyone, but it's just a reality of this thing now.
Yeah, and I'm just, as far as Carson Wentz, he should be fine. With those types of surgeries, the biggest thing after a while is just make sure his quad muscles get strong again. He'll be fine. They got the best trainers, so I'm confident.
And I'm confident they're going to be smart about it, Mark, and we appreciate the call. They're not going to rush him back. I mean, you've seen what happened before with other quarterbacks that have been rushed back and they get hurt, especially if they keep Nick Foles. If they keep Nick Foles and we don't see Carson Wentz until October next year, it's okay. I mean, if really, no one should push for him to start on opening night. There's no reason for it unless he's 100,000% ready to go. Todd's in South Philly. What's up, Todd?
Yo, how you doing, Joe?
Doing well, buddy. What's up?
All right, so I just wanted to talk about, three quick things. First thing, I'm going to be the first to say it on WIP, retire number 9. He threw the 7-touchdown game, 27-2 season. Chip Kelly ran him out of town. He comes back. He gives us our first Super Bowl in the NFC Championship game. So first thing first, retire number 9.
So Todd, this week we've heard we want a statue for Nick Foles. Someone wanted him to have the Ring of Honor thing, and now his number retired. I'm going to put it out there. Nick Foles, over the last 3 weeks, has become one of the most popular Eagles ever.
Oh, of course. He's hands down. He brought this city what they needed most. Okay, last two quick things first. Next thing is Jake Elliott broke the same record twice during the Super Bowl, which is awesome. That kid has been a great storyline throughout the season. And final thing is Doug has made Philadelphia a destination town for free agents, if it wasn't already. They want to come play with Carson. They want to come play under Doug after seeing what he did to make this locker room come together. They are excited to come play for Doug Peterson.
Yeah, well, they should be, because the guys, hands down, should have been the coach of the year, Ty. He's a player's coach. He's an offensive genius, and they're going to win here. Now, the NFL's a little different, and the Eagles are over the cap, so it's not like they could just get a big-time free agent, to come in here and add to this mix, because players are going to want to get paid too. But, the guys they got this year, like Chris Long, the Patriots have always gotten guys like that. The former stars that are vets now that will play a role, I think the Eagles could start getting a lot of those guys. Wherever they're thin in 1 year, whether it's defensive line, whether it's a running back, whether it's another linebacker, whatever it is, a corner like this year, Patrick Robinson, I do think the Eagles are going to be able to get those guys. They're going to want to come here. That culture stuff, it's real. 888-729-9494, pound 9494. That is how you get aboard. We'll come back, all your phone calls, and we'll talk to Robert Mays of The Ringer, who's been all over this Eagles team since the beginning of the year, calling the best roster in the NFL. Had a great piece this week on how the best roster had its best moment on Sunday night. We'll talk to him and talk to you guys. Coming up, Sports Radio 94, WIP. 7:01 on a Wednesday night. Joe Giglio hanging out with you. Sports Radio 94, WIP. Jack Fritz behind the glass. We have Rob Cherry in the updates. You guys with us. 888-729-9494, pound 9494 on your AT&T Verizon wireless cell phones. That is how you get aboard. We'll talk to our guy from The Ringer, Robert Mays, in just a couple minutes. Eric in South Philly, he's up next. What's up, Eric?
Joe, Jack, Rob, what's going on,
How
man?
we doing, bud?
Listen, you don't have to ask me that, man. Listen, what impresses me most about what Doug is saying is that it's conversational. Like, he's saying it's the new norm, but it's not all rah-rah and hype that game or whatever. He's just talking like, this is what we're going to do. Like, don't get complacent with what's going on. This is how things are going to be moving forward, and get ready for it.
I love it, Eric. And he called it the new norm. He didn't even make it, even by using that word, norm. Like, this is the way things are now. He didn't make it a big thing. He didn't say, yeah, we're going to repeat. He just said, listen, get ready for this, because this is the way we do things now.
He's talking about preparing for the ups and downs and what's going to happen in the offseason. He's already working on how he's going to make it work better for the next time. That's what you need from the leader of your squad, man. You got to have somebody who's looking forward and making sure that the next time it's going to happen again, and we're going to make this work consistently. That's all you need from a guy like that. And him, Carson Wentz, everybody on the team is workmanlike like that. And that's how winning is done.
It is. And Eric, I think the best part about this is even though they accomplished something that was their goal and it's amazing and they brought a championship to the city, I don't get the sense with this group, Eric, that they're just going to say, we're good now. Like they strike me as a team that knows they have something special here and they're going to try to maximize it and get the most they can in the next couple of years.
That's how they succeeded during the season. Nothing was enough for them. Every game, okay, we won this game. That's awesome. Go ahead and celebrate that. But we got to start getting ready for this next game coming up.
Yep, and they did it. They did it right after the NFC title game. I mean, they blew the Vikings out. They were going to the Super Bowl, and almost everyone to a man was like, "No, we got one more now."
When you win that, cool. That's awesome. We won this game, but now we got to start getting ready for the next one.
That's right. I don't know. The mentality is it's rare. You know, we talk about it like it should be every team, but every team's not like this.
That's how the Spurs win all the time. That's how teams that win consistently, that's how they do business.
Yes, it is.
I called to let you know that I live like 3 blocks away from the parade route. Suddenly, I'm the most popular dude I ever met. Like people calling me up, like want to come hang out with me, stay at my house, kick it with me all day today and yet tomorrow. Like I don't understand how suddenly, I'm the most popular dude I ever met.
Of course you are. I bet there's a lot of people, Eric, and we appreciate it, by that are living somewhere close or within walking distance of this parade, that all of a sudden you're getting those texts and you're getting those questions for your friends like, hey, can I sleep on the couch? I actually have a buddy who's a lawyer in Philadelphia, but he lives in South Jersey, and I'm not sure if he has to go into an office every day or how he does things. But he texted me and said, if I don't have to go in the city tomorrow, and he's not an Eagle fan, so he just works here. And he's not from here, but now he lives here. But he said, if I'm not going to the parade, should I go in the city tomorrow? I'm like, I don't know. There's a lot of people coming in for the parade. I don't think I just come to hang out. Terrell is up next. What's up, Terrell?
Hey, what's up, Joe?
How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great, man. First off, I want to say awesome job to the Philadelphia Eagles, and shout out to the whole city, man. It's like long overdue. We got it. But I'm still stuck on that moment in the game that you were telling me, that you told me to ask about, and it was when Malcolm laid the wood on that little boy in the middle of the field. That's why my voice is destroyed, because when that happened, it was all over. I never was shooken when the 1-point lead came. I'm like, man, this is what happened all year. This happened all year. We were down a few points, and now it's just like it's here. And, hopefully everybody enjoy themselves, be safe tomorrow. That's all I wanted to say, man. When Malcolm Jenkins made that hit, it was a wrap.
It was, and it was a wrap for Brandon Cooks in that game. And Terrell, we appreciate the call, bud. You don't see many hits like that in the NFL anymore, mostly because you can't. They legislate it out, and most of the time defensive backs won't even try to lay a big hit because the fear you're going to get a penalty. But the way that happened, it happened organically. Cooks didn't see him. Malcolm's coming in to make a play, so we're turning to this monster hit that typically, those hits are out of the NFL now. But I thought it obviously wasn't dirty, and it was clean enough that there was no penalty on it. It was just that Cooks didn't know where he was. He just was spinning around on the field, and Malcolm came over. That set the tone early. The other thing that set the tone early is the Eagles taking the football, opening drive. I thought the Patriots made a mistake by not taking the ball when they won the toss. They deferred to the second half. If I have Tom Brady in the Super Bowl, and look, none of us knew he was going to play as well as he did, but I'm sure they felt confident in their offense because look what they did. I would have taken the ball and tried to score in the Eagles and put Nick Foles in a hole down 7-0. Instead, they gave the ball to the Eagles. It was a 7-minute, 5-second drive, field goal, and you kind of felt like, all right, Eagles are in a rhythm now. They got this. 888-729-9494 to hop on in. When did you know? What part of Sunday night? When on Sunday night during that game did you start to feel like they're going to win this thing? That could be right at the end. I had someone tweet me on Twitter here and say it was when the Hail Mary was incomplete. Like you might be one of those fans where you didn't believe it was real and was actually going to happen until the very end. The Philly special to go up 22-12. Doug Peterson's aggressiveness, the 4th and 1, the play, the way they executed it. That's when I said they're going to win this game. The Patriots can't stop them. Let's talk to Guillermo in Northeast Philly. What's up, Guillermo?
E-A-G-L-E-S, Eagles!
Eagles, what's up, buddy?
I can't believe it. I cannot believe it. This is great. This is freaking great. So my plans are tomorrow. I have my cousin's fiance coming up to my house in Northeast Philly at 2 in the morning. Going to grab some breakfast, head out at 3. We're going to go to her friend's house, I believe, at 11 in Spring Garden. We're parking behind her house, I believe. Pregame, and about 5:30 in the morning, we're just walk on over to the art museum.
I love it. So you're getting up really early. You're going to make sure you get a good spot. You're not just going to be there, Guillermo. You're getting a spot.
Hey, you have no idea. I mean, this is we waited 56 years. Like I have to get this Kodak moment and up close. It's going to be incredible.
No, it is. And it's going to be the memories from tomorrow are going to last forever. Like the game will last forever, but there's something different about being at the parade and watching those guys go by in the floats. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah, and it's it hasn't really sucking into me yet. But once I see that Lombardi coming down the street tomorrow, right there, that's what's really going to hit me.
How about that part of it? Guillermo, I appreciate the call. Tomorrow in Philadelphia, the Eagles down Broad Street will hold the Lombardi Trophy for millions of fans to see. Just think about that for a second. Millions of fans, millions of you are going to be standing out there, and the Vince Lombardi Trophy is coming down Broad Street. After all those, we've talked about the idea of this forever, and now it's here. I don't know where it is right now, but the Lombardi Trophy's somewhere. And tomorrow it's going to be on a float coming down Broad Street. Let's go to Grant. Grant's going to the parade. What's up, buddy?
What's up? I just like to say, go Birds, and we drove 8 hours, and we're going to stay with my grandpa, me and my dad. We're coming from North Carolina, and we've been Eagles fans. He's been an Eagles fan since he was born for 51 years. I've been one for 17 years since I was born. This has been the greatest feeling in the world right now since 2008.
It is, man. It totally is, Grant. That's awesome. You get to go together and you get to be together. So you drove from Carolina. How many hours is that, like 10 hours?
8 hours.
Worth every minute.
Yes, definitely.
Grant, have a great time tomorrow, right?
Thanks, man.
How about that? 8 hours. You know what? When people talk about how many, they're estimating how many people are coming to this parade tomorrow, I think there's a little bit of a feeling that we're not quite sure in terms of this. Like, yeah, we could guess how many people are in the city, how many people will be here, how many people are in South Jersey, Delaware, Lehigh Valley. You could probably put a fair number guess just based on Eagles fans in the immediate area within an hour driving. But it's those kind of stories. We already had someone calling tonight from Alexandria, Virginia, from North Carolina that came up. I don't know if we know how many people are coming from these places. Like, there's something. There are people coming from everywhere. I feel like if you're an Eagle fan and you live, and you could get here, like you physically can get here, you're probably going to come. Because like we said before, the first one is different. And I would not be surprised if the Eagles have another parade. Maybe next year, maybe the year after, maybe a couple of them as the years go on with this coach and the quarterback that's coming back from his injury. But there's never going to be one. Not like this. Not like the first one. Let's talk to Smeltman. What's up, Smeltman?
Yo, come on. Can we talk about jerseys for a minute? Now, listen to this. Okay, I have my jerseys. I'm from Lewis, Delaware, a tiny little town at the mouth of the bay, your sister city, okay? We're half Redskins, half Eagles down here. I go to my closet every Sunday. I look at the jersey I'm going to wear. Is it going to be Cunningham? Is it going to be Deshaun? Every week, I'm like, okay, what's my story going to be? Because they're going to be coming at me with these jerseys on. They're going to be coming at me. In the back of my mind, I know they got a little in on me. I've got a jersey in the mail yesterday, a number 9 jersey. They can never come at me with this jersey on. And that's what Nick Foles and these guys, Brandon Graham's coming next, and then I'm going to get the Doug Peterson jersey. They cannot come at me with this jersey on. Now, those boys were talking about jerseys. Okay, I love all of y'all. I wear your jerseys. I've got beer on the Randall Cunningham jersey from Soldier Field still. But your jersey can't touch the jersey I got yesterday. You left me hanging. This jersey delivered me from that pain, and I will wear that jersey for the rest of my life. Nick Foles. They cannot touch this jersey. When they see this jersey, these Redskin fans are going to hide their eyes. When they saw my other jerseys of all the men I love, they came right at me. They're not coming at me anymore, and that's huge.
Well, they can't because you know what? That guy, Nick Foles, he played one of the greatest Super Bowls we've ever seen. I mean, really. And you don't even have to qualify it by saying, oh, he played well for Nick Foles for being a backup. No. Smeltman,
No.
Nick Foles played a great game on the biggest stage. He did.
And listen, I love Carson Wentz, but you know what, Carson? You went out limping. You know how many years I've had a guy go out limping? I've had that. I've tasted that plenty. Here's what I didn't taste. Double zeros in that field. Nick Foles, Brandon Graham. How big is that? That's what I haven't tasted. That's what these fellas gave me. And being down here in lower Delaware, it's a big deal. And I will wear that. That jersey's on my wall right now. It's unbelievable how much that jersey means to me. And I cannot wait to put that jersey on next year and walk into those bars and say, touch me. What can you do to me? You can't do anything to me.
The Nick Foles love, Smeltman, I appreciate the call, will never, ever go away in this town. It's amazing. It really is amazing. Nick Foles was liked in 2013, and people started to say, oh, maybe Nick Foles is the guy. Maybe he's the next franchise quarterback. And then things changed. And obviously things changed in a big way. But I mean, it's amazing. I think if you thought about your 5 favorite Eagles ever, or the 5 most popular Eagles ever, Nick Foles is going to be on that list one day. Nick Foles. But you know what? Good for him, because he brought a Lombardi trophy here. 888-729-9494, pound 9494 on your AT&T and Verizon wireless cell phones. When did you know? Sunday night, what part of that game did you start feeling like, you know what? They're going to do it. They're really going to win the Super Bowl. Let's talk parade. You know we got to get into on the other side a little bit? Because Jack Fritz went out and dropped a whole bunch of cash at the Eagles Pro Shop. And I don't think he's the only one. Because I saw this today, the Eagles will sell more merchandise in total than any other Super Bowl champion ever. So what'd you buy? Or what are you going to buy? Because I imagine that parade tomorrow, when they pan to the crowd, it'll be some Nick Foles jerseys, but there's going to be a whole lot of Eagles championship gear. What did you buy? Because I bet almost every single one of you, almost every single person in the city so far, has bought something. What'd you buy? 888-729-9494. That gets you bored. Sports Radio 94, WIP. 722 on a Wednesday night. Joe Giglio hanging out with you. Sports Radio 94, WIP. Jack Fritz behind the glass, Rob Cherry. And we have to get Rob's take here. You know what we haven't done? I haven't gotten Rob Cherry's take on everything that happened. Monday night I said I wanted to, and then Rob totally blew us off.
Yeah, he did.
I can't hear. I think he's trying to talk.
Can you put my mic up? Thanks, Jack.
Jack didn't let you on the air. It's actually
That's
Jack's
what
fault.
happened. I was talking, and you couldn't hear me, so you went to the caller.
You're welcome.
I was listening back to everybody's reactions yesterday, from the Monday show, to see what all the hosts said. And I listened to yours, and you said you wanted to talk to me, and I'm like, well, that's funny, because he never said he wanted to talk to me.
But I did. You weren't listening.
I was doing an update for another station.
Yeah, you were pretty busy, I guess.
I was moonlighting.
Rob, so you were on. You did the post game Sunday night.
Yeah.
So I didn't get a chance to hear it, but we'll just take me through Rob Cherry's emotions Sunday.
Well, it was like I wanted it to be a laugher because I didn't want to have to come down to a Jake Elliott kick. Because that's the last thing you want is to depend on a kicker to win a Super Bowl for or to lose a Super Bowl, or for the other kicker to win a Super Bowl. So I'm glad it didn't come down to that. But up until the last second, it's like, well, Brady's going to pull something out here.
He always does.
Yeah. But it never felt like it was there, but you also never felt like they lost this game, even when they fell behind. There's something about this team and something about Nick Foles that for some reason he can be unflappable. He got better as the playoffs went on. I've never seen a game. This is the best game I've ever seen.
I agree. That was better than his 7 touchdowns, even better than the NFC title game. The throws he was making, I didn't think he could make those throws. They were zipping them in there.
And the Philly special play, it showed what a great athlete. We never think of this guy as a great athlete.
Yeah, he was a basketball player. People forget that.
He's got great hands. He looks like he's got a soft touch. I know he's a great three-point shooter.
Yeah.
But he looks like this guy really is nimble. But who knew? Who knew? He looked like a guy that was a statue.
Only they knew it.
He was not a basketball player.
Jack,
There is no way that guy was a basketball player.
Absolutely.
He was recruited as one.
I don't care.
There is video from several years ago, or they posted video a couple years ago
Rob
from him in
knows.
high school like hitting threes from all over the place.
He better have been Kyle Korver if he was going D1, because there is no way that guy was a high-level Division I basketball
Well, Kyle Korver's an athlete.
Kyle Korver's been in the league for 13 years.
Yeah, I'm just saying, he better be one of the best shooters in Texas state
well,
history.
he could shoot threes. The guy could hit threes from all over the place.
He better be able to.
You know what else he could
runs
do?
like a duck.
He could play in the Super Bowl. How about that?
He can be an MVP of a Super Bowl.
Unbelievable.
It was a thrill because I was too young to really remember or appreciate the 1960 team. I remember some names and all that. And I don't even,
Wasn't that your senior year of high school?
No, I was 6 years old, Jack.
He was a junior in high school, Jack. Get the facts
You don't
right,
even remember
Jack.
the 2004 Super Bowl, Jack, or the 2005 team.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit.
Yeah.
They were dominant. That's what I remember.
Jack, you were 12 months old at that point?
I was in 4th grade.
Honestly, Joe, I gave up a couple years ago of this team ever winning a Super Bowl. I thought that's it. And when they hired Doug Peterson, I said, you replace Chip Kelly with Doug Peterson?
Doug Peterson?
That's not going to win a Super Bowl.
And here we are now.
I held my tongue. I said, all right, got off to a good start last year. They kind of collapsed. I said, all right, give the guy another year, but that's it. And I couldn't have been, I'm so glad I'm wrong about him.
So does he get a third year, Rob?
No,
Does he get one more?
No.
Doug's out.
If he doesn't win a Super Bowl, he's gone. He has to back it up with something better.
You know what? I think he's gonna back it up with a lot of winning around here. 888-729-9494, pound 949. All right, along with all our conversation about the game and when you knew and all our parade talk, let's throw this in the mix. So Jack Fritz, I got here today, and Jack he's basically flaunting around the studio, talking to everyone about the, thousands you dropped at the pro shop, close to it?
Not that much.
I know, but no.
Not Mr. Moneybags.
No, but you did have a fun day at the pro shop. So what'd you get? You got a beanie, a sweatshirt, hat?
2 beanies.
2 beanies. The beanies are nice.
Very good beanies. High quality. A long sleeve.
Which you're wearing right now?
Yes.
Yes. Just imagine everyone around here is wearing Eagles stuff and has been for a couple days.
Everyone around the city is wearing Eagles stuff. The city is jumping.
That's what tomorrow's going to be. Like every single person there tomorrow is going to be wearing something they probably bought in the last 4 days.
I got a dope hat. It's like I don't know how to explain it. It's half mesh, half old Eagles logo on the front.
Just based on the way everyone's reacting to your hat, Jack, everyone here is going to have that same hat in a week.
I've been a trendsetter my whole life.
Yeah,
so
I mean, it happens.
It's only the beginning of that hat making its way around town. And then, of course, I got a Super Bowl champion shirt because I had to. But basically, like, I didn't need this long sleeve. But then I was like, you know what? I need this long sleeve. I needed it. I got it. And it sent me back a few dollars. But you only win one Super Bowl, and I wanted stuff from the first Super Bowl. And tell you what, the beanie is really warm.
And you need it for tomorrow. And I imagine tomorrow, when you're out there and you're at this parade, everyone's going to be in something. So what'd you get? Because I know you bought something, whether it be...
Barchard's almost at $500.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Bart's going to go all
He's
in.
all about it.
All in.
He said he cried 14 times the day after, so...
Well, I heard him on the air after I was done Monday night, and because his voice was going, because of how much he screamed, he sounded like he was crying the whole show, which I thought was perfect. It fit right in.
It summed up the whole city.
It did. It really did. So what'd you buy, whether it be Eagles Pro Shop or the website or wherever you went? I feel like everyone bought something. Let's talk to Deneen in Philly. What's up, Deneen?
Hey, how you guys doing?
We're doing great. What's up?
Man, I was just calling to say I got my Eagles hoodies. I got my hat. I'm ready for tomorrow. I knew they were going to win this year. I had the dream last year around my birthday. My birthday's February 6th. The right day after Super Bowl. So I knew my team was going to do it. I just want to thank them for the great birthday gift.
How about that? Well, happy birthday, Deneen. That's a birthday you're never going to forget right there.
Never. Yes, and thank you.
I appreciate the phone call there. That's a good birthday gift. The Eagles win the Super Bowl. And you always remember because it always is around the same time of year. Perfect.
That's how I remember my dad's Super Bowl, my dad's birthday.
Is that one the Super Bowl?
Believe it or not, no. My dad's birthday is May 20th, which is the day the Flyers won the Stanley Cup in 1975. So that's how I always remember his birthday.
Is that just because we're crazy sports people, or does everyone remember things around sports dates?
Sports are a really good way to remember dates.
It's how I remember everything. My wife thinks I'm crazy. Like, she'll say, what were we doing then? And I say, oh, that's the night the Phillies did this, and they won the game this way on a Ryan Howard home run. It's like, what?
Yeah.
What does that have to do with May of 2010? I don't know.
Right. Like Halloween 2009, Cole Hamels was getting shelled down at CBP, and the Phillies were losing in the World Series.
Yeah, A-Rod hits the home run off of the camera, which was in play.
Off of the camera?
Off of Joe DeCamera. Off of the camera, which was in play down the right field line. Levi on the cell. What's up, Levi?
Not much, man. I just wanted to talk about what people are doing to go to see this parade. Not really a rich man, so I'm driving up here tonight, missing work tomorrow, sleeping in a carport. I've got my best friend, another diehard Eagles fan. He's flying out from California, and another one of my best friends. We're all joining together. We came up on them. We're watching them together. But it's got to happen, man. Dougie P's here to stay. I'm just thrilled about that. I love what he's done for this team and for this city, and I don't know if people have thought about this for the bathroom situation. Wear a trench coat that's really baggy. You got your own little private urinal right there.
It's a good, actually, Levi, that is a really good idea. And as someone, like, I don't even know what I'm going to do. I don't know how, because I hate holding it. I think everyone does. But yeah, the trench coat idea is interesting. So you're actually staying in a parking garage? Like, so you're sleeping in a port?
1500 Arch Street, man, parking garage. Got a case of Bud Light, Philly, and I'm gonna go Eagles camping, man, because I can't drive from Laurel up to here in time to get something where I'm gonna be able to see
down in Laurel, Maryland. Is that where you are?
Yeah.
Yeah, now that'd be a drive. That'd be at least a few hour drive. That's awesome though, Levi. Levi, have a good night. Eagles camping. I love it.
Oh, for real, man. I love it.
All right,
so, one last thing before I go, baby. EAGLES 52. I love you guys.
Love you, Levi. Appreciate the phone call. Eagles camping, Jack. You doing it?
How confused were you that wasn't Levi?
Well, I introduced him almost as Levi. Like, I was ready for Levi.
You're ready for that voice to come on,
yeah.
And then it was just Levi.
I haven't heard from him since the Super Bowl.
Are we sure? We sure he's still cooking? He hasn't tweeted at all.
So, I mean, someone had to have heard from him. The afternoon show?
I'm going to check the call log, because the afternoon show hasn't gotten him either.
He hasn't called John and I?
No. They were talking about it today.
He's on a bender somewhere. We're going to see him. He's going to be on a float tomorrow. He's going to work his way to a float tomorrow.
He's going to be falling down the Art Museum stairs.
It's going to be Lurie and Peterson and Roseman,
Levi.
and then Levi's just standing behind them. Well, Levi's, you know what? He's too big for us now. You saw it last week.
Oh, when it was in the Washington Post.
And that's not just some newspaper. The Washington Post.
Is that going to be you since CBS Morning News is here?
Yeah, I'm too big for you guys. Actually, check it out tomorrow morning. Obviously, I'm not going anywhere, but Jack is right. CBS this morning came in here tonight and filmed some of the first hour of the show. I'm not sure how it works on TV, what they're going to show, any of it, but I don't know. Check out CBS this morning tomorrow if you're in front of a TV. They actually got a little film of Jack, too, so maybe Jack will be famous as well. But if you guys were on the line with us, maybe you were there, I don't know. Check it out tomorrow morning. They came in here. And by the way, while I'm talking about tomorrow, and we're talking about this parade and what it's going to be like, tomorrow night, the post-parade party, come hang out with us. I'll be at Chickies at Pete's, 6 to 10 tomorrow night, doing the show there live for the post-parade party. Howard's going to be with me for the first hour, 6 to 7. Here's the best part. You ready for this? We're going to have an exact replica of the Lombardi Trophy, of the championship trophy. It's going to be that the first 200 people in line will receive a wristband to get their picture with the trophy starting at 7 p.m. There's also going to be some special guest appearances. Who knows what's going to be like? Tomorrow's going to just be chaotic, but I know I'll be there 6 o'clock. We'll be doing the show. Howard will be there from 6 to 7, and we will have that replica trophy. I mean, you literally can take a photo with the trophy with us at Chickies tomorrow night. It's going to be great. Come on out. Dave's in Virginia. He's up next on WIP. Hey, Dave.
Hey, how you doing, man?
Good, buddy. What's up?
I just want to talk a little bit about watching the Super Bowl. I have a 3-year-old son. His name is Benjamin Dawkins. And watching him watch the game was just the coolest thing. And he's running around. He's high-fiving everybody. And we just had the greatest time. He's been wearing Eagles clothes all week, and he says he wants to put on his Eagles shirt because the Eagles are winners.
I love it. Dave, I have a 3-year-old son, too, and it's funny you brought that story up because Monday morning I brought him into daycare, and I dropped him off, and the teacher there asked him, did you watch the Super Bowl? And my son's response was, the Patriots lost the game.
There you go. So for the parade, my wife is pregnant. Her due date is Tuesday. And since we found out she was pregnant in June and we found out her due date, I was saying, hey, we got to talk about this situation if the Eagles go to the Super Bowl. And she got real hesitant the last several weeks, but today at 3:30 she had a doctor appointment, and the doctor said, you tell your husband to go because it doesn't look like this baby's coming in the next couple of days.
So, well, that's good. And you know what? From my experience there, the doctor usually has a pretty good idea of that kind of thing. If it's close, he's going to tell you it's close. If it's not, he's going to, like you said.
Yeah.
So are you going to head back right away just in case?
Yeah, I'm probably coming back tomorrow night. She thinks I should stay there till Friday. I'm going to be with some friends in the city tonight. I'll play it by ear tomorrow evening what I'm going to do.
Here's the thing. I'm glad you're coming. I think you're making the right decision to come. My advice would be, whenever you're sober enough, Dave, get back down there to Virginia.
Yeah.
All right, buddy.
All right, have a good one. Thanks very much.
Enjoy the parade tomorrow. That is a risk he's taking. A little bit of risk.
So I want you to breathe a sigh of relief.
Okay.
Levi.
Feel good.
He did call into the midday show the last 2 days.
He's alive.
He's alive. We're
Okay.
good. Levi is around.
I knew he'd be okay. I just thought maybe he's on a bender. Like, he's just celebrating this thing to the nth
Well, that's
degree.
not ruled out.
No, well, that's true. He could be on the air that way.
Yeah. I just want to make sure he's still kicking.
He's good. And, I feel good for Levi. Levi's a good fan. And you know what? I'll give him a little credit. He called this. He does call it every year.
Every year he says they're going to win the Super Bowl.
I had to throw that in there. He did say they would win the Super Bowl this year. He said it to me last year, the year before, the year before. But
good call.
He was right. 888-729-9494, pound 9494. That gets you where we come back. Your phone calls, and we got to play this for you. Last night, inside the NFL, had different clips, had guys mic'd up during the game. Malcolm Jenkins, how he responded to Tom Brady after the ball went off of Tom Brady's fingertips, it is awesome. We'll play her for you next, coming up on Sports Radio 94 WIP. $7:42 on a Wednesday night. Joe Giglio hanging out with you. Sports Radio 94 WIP. Jack Fritz behind the glass. We've got Rob sharing the updates. You guys with us. 888-729-9494. On your way to the parade, we got people. I love this. We have people coming in from all over the place. So we've heard a couple Marylands. We've heard in Alexandria, Virginia. I think another Virginia as well. I bet there's more. I really think the part of this thing tomorrow that it's hard to account for is how many people are coming in from out of the area.
Ben Livingston might be right. You could be getting 2 million from out of the area.
Yeah, I kind of told him he was crazy when he said it.
Yeah, it might not be crazy.
Because it feels like an insane number that 2 million people would exodus to this city in a very short period of time. But think about it. The Eagles won their first Super Bowl. And I know, Jack, I know you want to beat the Cubs. And the Cubs claimed, I don't know how true it is, but they claimed they had 5.5 million people in Chicago.
Yeah, it's fake news.
It probably was lie.
There's no way that's possible.
But here's what we could do. If the Eagles get if this city gets 4 or 5, just say 5.6.
Yeah, how are they going to judge it? Were they a ticket every member?
I'm going to open the show tomorrow night at Chickies by saying this broke the record.
World record.
That's it.
No matter what. Relax there, big
I'm
guy.
good. I'm getting excited here.
You are getting a little excited. You want to beat the Cubs, too.
Well, who wouldn't want to beat the Cubs?
I just want to beat the Cubs. Our curse was worse. I don't know if it was worse.
No, it probably wasn't worse.
Ours was 2 times. Theirs was 2 times as long as
they had 108 years. And they got close a lot.
Yeah, but it's the Birds.
And the Eagles did get close a lot.
Well, at least it's warm in the summer.
So baseball's it's like just going to the park. Doesn't matter if they lose or not.
I mean, we were watching this in the cold.
And getting disappointed in the cold, which always stinks.
And it's only 17 games, so every game means so much to us.
I agree. No, you know what? 5.6 million are coming tomorrow. Lock it in.
Just beat the Cubs.
Beat the Cubs. 888-729-9494. All right, let's play the Malcolm Jenkins audio. This is from last night. Inside the NFL, they had their final show of the season, and this is right as Tom Brady drops the pass off his fingertips, the one that the Eagles won up them a couple plays or a couple minutes later with the Philly special. Listen to Malcolm Jenkins' reaction. So to paint the picture for you, he runs up, and he's going to be the guy that hits Brady and tackles him if he catches the ball. Obviously, it's incomplete, so he doesn't touch him, but he gives him this little message after the play is done.
James White pitches it back to Danny Amendola. He throws a lob to Brady off his hands, incomplete.
Come on, Tom. Come on, Tom.
Come on, Tom. And the little that noise you heard there was a slap on the butt. Malcolm just gave him a big I thought it was pretty condescending.
Little smack ass.
Condescending one.
Yeah, of course.
I thought he mocked him. Chris is in Philadelphia up next. What's up, Chris?
Hey, man, how you doing? I just wanted you to know I'm just so proud of the Eagles. And the way that they won the game, it was not that New England didn't show up. They played an excellent game, over 600 yards, total offense, and lost. That was a great. That was just great the way that they came out and whipped them. My best time, or the time that I knew that we had it, I really didn't know. I just felt good about it. And all I kept on saying, I think everybody was saying the same thing. When is the defense going to do something? And Brandon Graham just came through, and I was just so happy at that point. And that's when I actually knew that they were going to win. I'm going down to the parade with my daughter. My daughter has off of school. It's her birthday tomorrow. Other than that, I probably would have stayed home and watched it on the big screen, but you just can't. You got to get involved in that. Everything is just lining up. It lined up with the Eagles. It lined up with my daughter, so we're going to be down there.
I love it, Chris. Yeah, it's one of those things, if you have the opportunity to go and you could get here and it works out for you and your family, you have to do it. You have to be there because these things don't come around, and I like that submission there, Chris, that when the ball popped out of Brady's hand, I'll tell you what, I thought they could win, and I said they're going to win this game when the Philly special happened, but when they pressured Brady, when the final drive, not the Brandon Graham strip sack, because that was the one that was like, oh my goodness. But remember, they gave the ball back again. After the Jake Elliott field goal, Brady got it back again. Down 8 this time, so it would have taken, a whole bunch. It would have taken a touchdown, 2-point conversion, all that. But when the Patriots had that ridiculous attempt at a trick play on the kickoff and it wasted time, and they were pinned back to what were they, on the 10 or the 5 to start that drive, and the Eagles got pressure and was incomplete the first pass, I just kept watching the clock, and I was saying, there's not enough time. Now, I know the Hail Mary could have changed everything if it was completed, but that's what when that drive started to go backwards for them, and they had the dumb play on special teams, and then Brady was getting pressure to start the drive, a couple incompletes, I started saying, there's not enough time. He doesn't have enough time to get down the field and have a realistic chance at just beating the Eagles or getting in the end zone. It was going to, at that point, take some sort of miracle for them to do it. Eric is in Wilmington. What's up, Eric? Hey, Eric. Eric, I can hear, I love when people call in and I hear the background like someone yelling at them, but they're not listening to us. I think that Reynolds, who's coming up from North Carolina, Reynolds ready to talk. What's up?
Yeah, hey guys, I'm coming up from North Carolina. Actually, I just walked in with family now, and this means so much. I grew up around here. The next morning we just watched the game on the network, and my buddy comes over, and it's one of those things where he couldn't watch the game with us, but he comes up into the driveway, and you just look at him because we've spent so many games together, just watching. And you want to be together, and you just look at him, and you can't even talk. I mean, you're just like emotion, and it means that much. And I'll tell you, I'm overwhelmed. I can't wait for tomorrow. But there are a couple things, for the turning point for me was when Clement went beast mode, makes a catch, literally starts just breaking tackles, has a chance to run away and go to the end zone, but goes right into the defender, stiff arms him, and literally at that point, I'm looking at it. I'm like, I started doubting myself, and I'm sitting there. I'm like, you know what? I felt in the air, in the whole air of the event, of that play, that whether it was me or whether it was the team, I felt like they were like starting to look away from maybe the task at hand and start to look at the Patriots some. But then that play happened, and it was just like, the whole team, like the whole spirit of the game on our side said, you know what? They got refocused, and they said, that's right. They said, Clement just redefined our focus. We're here to fight, and we're going to punch this thing in. And for me, that was just wow. I mean, and then they went right back to him and said, watch the fight, and he did. He just punched it in for another 5 yards.
He did. Right, Reynolds, he's a really good player. He stepped up on the big stage. And how about this? That play you're talking about, that long catch, that was the longest catch by a running back in the history of the Super Bowl.
Amazing. And you know what? Here's the deal. Couple things that I love what he did. I love, hey, if they want to complain about that touchdown, you can say, okay, take the 7 points off. We still beat you by one, and use whatever finger in your hand you want to express it. But here's the deal. A couple things. Aguilar, from last year to this year, I love the fact that from the very first series, the very first game, they exercised the demons and said, we believe in you. Go out there. In that very first game, he had an incredible game. And here's the deal with Dougie T. It's a well-known truism. No one cares how much you know until they know how much you care. And they put him out there, and they went right to him. And I'm just a believer that our whole season began, whether it's redemption, whether it's a true sense of, hey, I'm committed to you, whether or not the general masses care or believe in you, I do. And I love seeing, I picked Aguilar as my X factor. I said, he's an X factor, and he had a great game.
He was unbelievable, Reynolds. He really was. I took him as the MVP of the game. Obviously, Foles did so much that he got it, but I thought what Nelson did over the course of that game, third down after third down, big catch after big catch, it was incredible. And the crazy part was the trust that he has in himself and they have in him. In just a year, he's gone from a guy you didn't want the ball anywhere near. Now, when it's third down, I say, throw the ball to Nelson.
Here's something, and here's something I have. You're absolutely right, and I know your time's valuable, but I would just one more point is not to the play with the Philly special. Think about it from this perspective. We know for a fact that the Patriots were playing and practicing their own version of our play. So the defense was lining up against our play, and we sold the fake on the kill play, that little nuance of, hey, kill, lane. One of the defensive guys on the Patriots easily could have picked it up and said, whoa, we've seen this.
Yep.
But instead, we did such a difference of a sale that they couldn't even see their own play. And they practiced against their own offense on that exact same play, but they did not see it coming.
No, they didn't. It was sold perfectly by Foles. And I heard a story today. Peter Schrager was on, it was Colin Cowherd's show, and I saw him, and he was talking about the play and what he knew about it and the practicing of it. And he talked about how they practiced it a few times in a ballroom. Then I think the night before or 2 nights before. That play wasn't actually practiced on a field during Super Bowl week. Think about that for a second. The Philly special wasn't actually practiced on a field during Super Bowl week. He was run 3 times in a ballroom, in a walkthrough, in a hotel. And they stopped it the first time because Nick didn't sell it. He ran out too quick. And they're like, no, you got to sell it. You have to really count one, take a pause, then go out to the route. And it worked. It was unbelievable. And as far as Nelson Aguilar goes, and Nelson's been, just become a revelation for this team. A guy that a year ago couldn't catch anything. And now he's such a reliable player. Last year, listen to this stat. Last year, Nelson Aguilar caught 9 passes the final 7 weeks of the regular season. 9 total. He caught 9 passes in the Super Bowl.
He had 9 catches last year?
In the final 7 games.
Oh, wow.
And he had 9 in the Super Bowl.
I felt like he caught nothing last year.
I know. He didn't. And look, if you told me Nelson Aguilar would be on this team this year and play a big role, I would have said, I don't think so. And it happened.
He was just too talented. He was always too talented to be as bad as he was.
It was all in his head.
Yeah.
It was never physically, he wasn't good enough.
And you know what? It gives me hope for Markelle Fultz.
Nelson, you know what? Actually, I think that's a good take. That's a good take.
Brandon Graham, Nelson Aguilar are feeding my Markelle Fultz hype.
Whatever you need, Jack, to feel better about Markelle Fultz, because I don't feel good at all. But whatever you need, it's just a good time to just feel good about things. And I'm willing until this week's over and we kind of come down from this Eagles euphoria to just forget that the Markelle Fultz thing is happening. I have a feeling sooner than later we're not going to be able to do that. But for now, whatever. Markelle can play when he wants because the Eagles won the Super Bowl. 888-729-9494, pound 9494 to hop on. And speaking of Brandon Graham, when we get back, you may have noticed today that Brandon Graham had some interesting things going on social media. You may have noticed if you used to block him or he used to block you, that's no longer the case. We'll tell you what happened. Brandon Graham, he's a champion now, and his social media changed because of it. We'll let you know what's up along with your phone calls on Sports Radio 94 WIP. 8 o'clock straight up on a Wednesday night. Joe Giglio hanging out with you. Sports Radio 94 WIP. We have Jack Fritz behind the glass, Rob Cherry, the updates. You guys with us. 888-729-9494, pound 9494 to get you aboard.
Hey, Joe.
Hey, Jack.
Eagles.
Go Birds. Little experiment there on the break. Jack, what did you tweet today about your Eagles Pro Shop purchase, right?
Yeah, I just tweeted how I'm only wearing Eagles gear for the rest of my life.
It's pretty straightforward, simple just thing you said.
Yeah, a little, overreacting.
And you almost went viral over it on Twitter?
No, just a lot of people liked it, and I'm not really sure why.
I know why. Because we're in a zone right now where if you just say Eagles, everyone just gets excited. Eagles, go Birds, Super Bowl.
So now I tweeted out just Eagles, and we're going to play a social experiment and see how many people favorite / like just the term Eagles.
You're going to get, by the end of the show, 20 retweets and 100 likes. Eagles.
Really?
On Eagles.
Okay. If you want to follow me.
At Jack Fritz, WIP?
Yes.
There we go. That's Jack's Twitter account. At Joe Giglio Sports. We're actually working on having an evening show Twitter account. We're gonna make that happen.
Eventually, once I muster up the confidence to do it.
Just do it.
I know. Eventually we will.
Jack will work on that. Here's what we got to talk about. Before we get back to the line, speaking of Twitter, it's actually a good segue. You may have been blocked by Brandon Graham in the past. Brandon Graham, we know his story. He was a guy that was drafted in the first round, got a lot of crap from a lot of people for not being the player that other guys in that same draft were. 2010 draft, specifically Earl Thomas. That was the one. Oh, they got at Earl Thomas. And I'm not going to pretend I never said that. Never thought it. I never tweeted at Brandon. I usually don't tweet at players. But I guess enough people did, or he saw enough that he didn't want the negativity anymore. That was a big story a few years ago. And he started blocking a lot of Eagles fans that he either thought or perceived or whatever. He just didn't want any negativity in his life. Took it out. Guess what? You're unblocked. If you were blocked by Brandon Graham, go check it out. You probably were unblocked today. It's over. And in fact, from what I saw on Twitter, Brandon was following some Eagles fans he used to block. So the whole thing, it's buried.
Block party's gone, Joe.
The block party's gone. You know why? Because it doesn't matter anymore. They won it.
Everyone loves Brandon Graham.
Well, how do you not now?
Right.
And you know what? Right now, I'd rather have Brandon Graham than Earl Thomas. That's not even a question. And Earl Thomas is a great player, but Earl Thomas has had a knee injury, and I don't think it's quite the same he used to be. Well, Brandon Graham the last few years, getting better and better. Let's talk to Will in Bethlehem. What's up, Will?
Hey, I just wanted to let you know some of my favorite highlight of the game on Sunday was the Philadelphia special. I knew as soon as they ran that play and it worked, I looked at my wife and I said, we're going to win this one. And she said, I think so too. She said that was the most fantastic play she's ever seen any team do. And she said, wait a minute, didn't the Patriots just try to do that? And I'm like, yeah, and they blew it. So that was good. I wrote and I wrote lyrics to the Fly Eagles Fly song for the Super Bowl. And it's very basic, but I even copyrighted it anyway. And I'm working on 2 more stanzas to that. But right now, it'll go, it goes, and this is a world premiere on any radio station.
Oh, boy. We need like a drum roll here or something. I'm
okay,
ready for it.
Give me a drum roll. Fritzy, give me a drum roll.
I'm doing a make-believe one here.
Okay, that works. All right. Fly, Eagles, fly. We won the Super Bowl. Fly, Eagles, fly. We won the Super Bowl. We hit 'em low, we hit 'em high. We made Tom Brady cry, boo-hoo-hoo. Fly, Eagles, fly. We won the Super Bowl. And, of course, you do the cheer right after that. And I did it on Sunday night. We were singing it out on the front porch and had a ball with that. But something else that happened on Sunday night when the game was over. My father, who passed away in 1996, he and I used to watch every single game on TV until my wife and I moved up to Maine in 93. And after we moved up there, I was on the phone with him constantly during games and, just commenting on different plays, etc. Well, I felt a warm embrace, and there was no one standing around me except for my wife, and she was like 3 feet away from me. And I knew right away that was his spirit hugging me. And that just, I just went into tears after that. And I'm just so happy. I've been an Eagles fan since 72. And, well, we can actually put winning a Super Bowl, take that off my bucket list.
There, you did it, Will. It happened.
I'm 58 years old.
That's awesome, Will. And Will, you know what? You better get ready to be famous because that song, a lot of people just heard it, Will. So get ready for some requests.
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I sing it to all my Patriot fan buddies that I had up in Maine, New Hampshire, and Massachusetts. And
I'm sure they love that, but you know what? Good for you, Will. I appreciate the call, bud.
Hey, no problem. Love your show.
There we go. Will. Oh, people bringing their own music to the show. I like some. We have some good callers, Jack. The creativity we get, people bring it when they call the show.
Great callers.
I really appreciate it. It's good. They're not just listening. Part of the show here. Mike over in Ocean County. What's up, Mike?
Hey, how you doing? Great show tonight.
Thanks, bud. What's going on?
Hey, listen, we're driving up. I got the truck full. We're coming up to the parade, staying with the family from Ocean City. But, you know, what they're not talking a lot about, and they deserve a lot of credit, how about the offensive line, keeping Nick clean? I mean, no sacks, and they were blocking downfield on the run. Just watching the replay like everybody else all week. They just did a great job, and it just doesn't seem like anyone's talking about it. I know that's normal for offensive line. They don't usually get a lot of credit, but they had a great game.
They were great. Mike, you're totally right. Even Vaitai, who probably had the toughest assignment because the only pass rusher they have that's any good is James Harrison, and even he did a good job again. A lot of those plays, Mike, they weren't anywhere near Nick Foles. Now, he made a couple moves, and he got away a little bit and then bought some time, but for the most part, I'd say of his throws, maybe only 5 or 6 was even slightly pressured. He was clean the whole game.
Yeah, and it really, that was the difference for me. And I'll tell you, I didn't feel good until 0-0-0. That's what I knew we won. I'm just going to be honest with you. There was a lot of plays I look back on and felt good, but until that thing was over, I didn't know we were going to win until it was over.
Yeah, I think a lot of people felt that way, and mostly because it's Tom Brady. And Mike, we appreciate the call. We've seen the story before. You've seen the same. I mean, it's the same thing again. And, it's interesting when you think about it. The finish to the game on Sunday was exactly the same as the last Super Bowl the Patriots lost. The ending was the same. It was a Hail Mary to the end zone from Brady to Gronkowski. That's the way the Giants-Patriots Super Bowl ended in 2012. It was the same thing. I forget what the score in that game was, 21-17, something like that, 20-17. That game was closer. The Eagles were up 8. So even if, that ball had been caught by the Patriots in the end zone, it still would have taken a 2-point conversion just to get it to overtime. So it wouldn't have beaten them. I think, I'm almost positive. I actually am positive. If the Patriots had hit the Giants one, they would have beaten them and the Hail Mary would have won the game. That wasn't this one, but it's the same thing. So we've seen it before. Tom Brady can't complete those Hail Marys, Jack. He lacks the clutch gene, I think.
He's certainly no Aaron Rodgers.
Nobody throws a Hail Mary like Aaron Rodgers.
It's like weird at this point. I don't understand how he does it.
Well, it just feel like even if you're good at it, they shouldn't be completed that often. It's hard to do. He makes it routine.
I know. It's ridiculous.
The first time he did it in that game in Seattle, the Monday night game, whatever year that was, I had fallen asleep in the fourth quarter and I woke up and I thought I was dreaming. I thought that didn't really happen.
Wasn't that the replacement refs?
It was the replacement refs.
And then they were like, yeah, we got to get rid of these guys.
We can't do this any longer. Let's talk to Chris up next on WIP. What's up, Chris?
Hey, guys. How are you? Love the show. Just wanted to share my my Super Bowl experience, number 1 and number 2, to just kind of tell. No one's mentioned because obviously it's too early to talk about what it was like in Minneapolis, in the stadium, et cetera. But I want to share that because it was not great. Anyway, we drove out there. My first brag is about the fact that I made my hotel reservations on October 29th.
How about that, Chris? So you were all in October.
October 29th, I made that reservation at a suite hotel out in, about 20 minutes south of the stadium.
Now, did Chris, be honest with us, did you think about canceling those when Wentz went down?
I absolutely did not. I call out to my buddy Joey D. He'll tell you. I called him. I said, don't worry, we're good. We got Nick. I swear I said that. So it was we drove out to the Super Bowl, and we had WIP on radio.com. We drove the turnpike. We stopped in Mauston, Wisconsin the first night after 1,000 miles. It was my birthday going out. And so we had a great time listening to you guys, listening to the NFL channel. We had a great time getting kind of immersed in the Super Bowl stuff and knowledge and all that. Because we get there, it was great. Had an incredible experience. I was in row 8 on the 5th yard line. I was about 15 yards from where Nick caught that touchdown. It was right in front of my face. It was amazing. So anyway, enough of that. Now, the last thing I want to share is, so everybody knows, it was an incredible Super Bowl. To be there was great, but that stadium is nothing compared to our stadium. Nothing. There were no restaurants, no bars. All there were concession stands. That's it. It was like it was built on a low budget. And then when we left, from my seat to the exit, which would take 8 minutes to walk, took almost an hour.
That's ridiculous.
Just so you guys know, it's like anyway. So that's my story. As I said, call out to Joey D. are so happy. I'm 59 years old. I can't tell you, it was the greatest birthday present I ever got. And, you know, we love the city. I'm going down to I'm walking to the art museum from where I'm at tonight. So, guys, go Eagles. Thanks for your show. Thanks for all this stuff you get us to know.
Well, thanks for being part of it, Chris. Appreciate the call. Have fun at the art museum tomorrow. I like that they reversed the course of this thing. It's the opposite of what was the Phillies parade in terms of logistics and where it's going. I think it's cool where it's going to end over at the art museum. Let's talk to Jen on their way. Jenna, you're on your way for St. Louis?
Yeah, we're on our way from St. Louis. We actually just pulled into my parents' driveway. We've been traveling since about this time yesterday, and just got here with my 4 kids and my husband. We are Philadelphia transplants, New Jersey transplants, and we have lived all over. We've lived in Southwest Missouri. We lived in Wichita. We lived in Atlanta for a while, and then we're in St. Louis right now. And it hasn't been easy to be an Eagles fan in all those places.
I can imagine. I can imagine it's not. But you know what? I love that you kept the fandom and you got the whole family coming back.
Oh yeah. And we had some friends over who are all different transplants who live in St. Louis, and we had them over on Sunday. We hemmed and hawed before we invited them. Though we weren't sure if we wanted them to be a part of the angst that we were anticipating, and we have so many great videos, so many great memories of that game. It was just that moment after the Hail Mary didn't work, and it was like the immediate relief that it didn't work, and then there was this pause while we realized that also meant we won. And it was invigorating. So we weren't sure if we wanted to take the kids out of school. We've got a 10, a 9, a 6, and a 3-year-old. But we decided, you know what, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. So we loaded them up last night, stopped in Indianapolis, and finished the drive today through some pretty terrible weather, I have to say. So,
yeah, you know what, that is awesome, though, and it's a memory they're not going to forget forever. It's so cool. So now you're here, and you got your plans for tomorrow, or you're just going to kind of wing it?
Yeah, well, we already got our Paco tickets, so we're kind of figuring out how early we need to get there so that we can make sure we're not left out. But our plan is to go to the art museum and set up there. Our oldest 2 are totally bought in, and we're going to look at our younger 2 and see if we can handle them as well.
Well, I have a 3-year-old who's my oldest right now, so you know what? I feel for you there, but I'm sure at some point they'll look back on the pictures and then they'll thank you for it.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Jen, have a great time.
Thank you.
How about that? St. Louis with 4 kids.
You know who I saw is coming in tomorrow?
Who's that?
Kyle Brandt, the guy.
And I saw he's wearing a sweatshirt. He had a sweatshirt on his picture when he announced it on Twitter, saying he was coming, that every dog has its day.
Yes.
I need that sweatshirt.
Yeah. Also, Kyle Brandt, if you see him tomorrow, he cannot pay for a beer in this entire city.
Jack,
he deserves everything.
Well, listen, Bud Light's giving them out for free. Everyone gets one. And also, I saw today that Yards, if you go into one of their locations in Philadelphia, you get a free beer. So that's you
just open a new one.
If you want to make it 2 free beers to start your day, you can do that.
Listen, right before I show up to work tomorrow, I'm gonna stop at Yards.
Get a beer.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'll bring you one.
Well, I'm gonna be at Chickies.
All right,
so I can have beer there.
Well, now I'm sad again.
The Eagles won the Super Bowl. You can't be sad for like 2 weeks at least, maybe more than that. You know what? I'm starting to think there's going to be 8 million people here tomorrow. Like, we have people calling from everywhere. St. Louis, she was from Wichita, St. Louis, Virginia, Maryland. They're all coming.
Do you think some people in, like, L.A. left right as the game ended? Because they'd have to drive from here?
If you're from L.A., you got to take a plane, right?
You could drive.
That's a drive.
That's a heck of a drive.
Yeah, you have to leave. Imagine that. You just leave as soon as the ball hit the ground. Hail Mary's done. Let's go. Let's get in the car right now. We're going to the parade. They didn't even know when the parade was at that point, but screw it. We're going. 888-729-9494, pound 9494 on your AT&T and Verizon wireless cell phone. So what did you get? Eagles Pro Shop is just selling everything. Jack bought basically everything they have, but they still have a couple things I think left in the store. So the Eagles are going to, I saw this today, Eagles are going to sell more merchandise in total than any other Super Bowl champion ever. What'd you buy? Because I know you bought something to wear to this parade tomorrow. We'll talk about that, the parade, and the moment on Sunday when you knew it, when you felt like, you know what? They're going to win this game. 888-729-9494. That is how you hop aboard on Sports Radio 94 WIP. 822 on a Wednesday night. Joe Giglio hanging out with you. Sports Radio 94 WIP. Jack Fritz behind the glass. We have Rob sharing the updates. You guys with us. 888-729-9494. We were just talking over during the break there. because we're talking about the Eagles Pro Shop and everyone's getting so much stuff, hats, beanies, long sleeves, sweatshirts, getting all amped up, and I'm going to see all this stuff out there tomorrow for the parade. And Jack was just saying, I need to get myself a Doug Peterson jersey. I'm on board.
I'm pretty disappointed you don't have one already. I mean, you are the founder of the Doug Club.
I am. And I used to get, those mean tweets, Jack, I don't get them anymore. I got a lot in September. I wrote an article for NJ.com in September that he's the early favorite or should be for Coach of the Year. And I can't tell you how many people that said to me that I was an idiot, that it was all Carson Wentz, that 4th and 8, that he's a bad coach, blah, 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 blah. And what is he now? He's a champ.
Yeah, and he only got one vote for Coach of the Year. So,
which was Zach Ertz told Monday Morning Quarterback in the aftermath of the game that voting was embarrassing. Which I think saying anything is embarrassing is a really fun and condescending word to use.
Yeah, and Peter King actually backed up the NFL voting process.
What do you mean?
Like he agreed that he wasn't Coach of the Year, and then a fan was like he suffered all those. It went through all those injuries. Yeah. He beat the two coaches he beat the one coach in the regular season, and then lost the MVP. And you're going to tell me he's not Coach of the Year? Peter King was like, all right, I agree.
Yeah, well, obviously
Peter King's a weird follow, by the way.
He is. I mean, I follow him mostly because it's an easy way to get the links to what he writes. Because I've always read everything Peter King writes because he's connected and he's good. But he's kind of a weird follow. We'll tweet out a lot of things I don't really care about.
Yeah. And I'll never forget after Deshaun Watson got hurt, he was tweeting like people from Sydney, Australia, bummed. He was just going through all these fans that were bummed about Deshaun Watson's
Did he do that about Carson Wentz?
No, he didn't, which I think is ridiculous.
Yeah, because obviously people all over the world were bummed about Carson Wentz.
Yes, and now they're all coming to the parade.
Well, Australia, St. Louis, Virginia, Maryland. Listen to this tweet here. We're talking about what you're buying, the Pro Shop stuff. Just got a tweet here from Bobby G. And by the way, at Jack Fritz, WIP, if you want to follow Jack. Bobby G just tweeted me and said, bought the wife a Wentz jersey, 8 hats, 3 T-shirts, and a set of magnets for my kegerator equals $600, and I know I'm not done. Hashtag fly Eagles fly.
Can you ask him what he does for a living?
You know what? Here's the thing. I think at this point, it doesn't even really matter. Like, some people obviously have a lot of disposable income and they might spend a lot, but I think people that don't have a lot of disposable income are still spending a lot. The Eagles just won the Super Bowl. I think logistics kind of go out the window. Let's talk to Sal, who's up in New England. What's up, Sal?
Yo, guys, what's up?
How we doing, buddy?
I'm so happy. I had to get out of there before the snowstorm, but I had to wear my Eagles stuff on Monday. I mean, it's just great. It's absolutely great. You guys know I've been calling actually since 610 WIP. I love it. I think I called you guys after the Eagles beat the Pats at Gillette. And this is great. I know, Joe, you've been on in that midday crew, right? Filling in for the other Joe.
Yep.
Love WIP. Love it. Backup quarterback beats Brady, and the guy can't even shake his hand. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I know. That was ridiculous, Sal. And here's the thing. I love the story. It's so good. I mean, so you live up there now, or you're always from up there?
Yeah, I live up there. There were more arrests in Amherst, Massachusetts than Philadelphia, and they're going to bash on us. I mean, come on.
Yeah, get out of here with that. And I love, Sal, I love the symmetry that Tom Brady, who won his first Super Bowl as a backup, and now he might have lost his last one to a backup.
Yeah, you remember the symmetry of how the flip of the how we beat the Vikings in Atlanta, and then we lost to the Pats. It was reversed. We won. Now the parade's the opposite. I love it, baby. It's our time. Our time.
I love it. You got an echo there. You got a whole bunch of people coming up down here?
Oh, yeah. I got my buddies from high school. We got a whole crew. We've been doing this for too long. We're like in our 40s. Love it. Called in like the 610 when I was like 16 years old.
I love that.
A Flyers update.
Sal,
I love you guys. You guys are the greatest thing ever.
You got it, Sal. Appreciate the phone call. I love Sal. And I think I actually talked to Sal after the Eagles beat the Pats up in New England a couple years ago with Chip Kelly, which it's amazing. Chip Kelly was hired, got a 5-year deal. And in the 5th year here, this would have been his 5th year, the Eagles won the Super Bowl. If you told me Chip Kelly's 5th year, they would have won a Super Bowl, I said, all right. Well, they did it. They didn't do it with him. Brian is up next on WIP. Hey, Brian.
How's it going, Joe?
Going well, bud. What's up?
Go Birds.
Go Birds.
Hey, man, I'm heading back from State College, and we had a big storm. It started at 4 a.m. this morning, and it was super dicey. It's going to turn into sleet and ice and all that. And all day I'm worrying about when am I going to leave? Am I going to leave at 4 o'clock tomorrow morning, 5 o'clock tomorrow morning? And it took to me getting gas. It was like one defining moment. I ran into another Eagles fan up at Penn State at State College at a gas station. And I'm like, dude, I'm heading down the parade. What do you think? He's like, I'm heading too. and we shook hands, we hugged it out, we wished each other the best of luck, and get down there safe. And it was just like so indicative of what this win's all about, bringing people together. You know, the whole city is just rejoicing. Everybody's feeling good, and like it goes. I've had people that don't even care about football or sports text me or whatever saying, "Congratulations, man. I mean, I know this means so much to you."
Yeah, Brian, we've had so many people call the station the last couple of days, all these shows, saying congratulations to us as if, we're doing anything here. We're just talking about it with you guys. But I think everyone's just walking around with a smile on their face saying congratulations to anyone they talk to because the Eagles won the Super Bowl.
Absolutely. They just know how much it means to us.
It does. And it means something to the whole city, and it means something to everyone that has a connection to this team.
Yeah. Hey, if you get a Peterson jersey, you got to get number 14, right?
Yes, I got to get the Doug when he was a player jersey, no doubt. And I'm going to do it. I guess I have to custom order it.
Oh, you definitely got to customize it. Although it's, come on, Eagles. Put out a Doug Peterson jersey. He's the head coach. People would buy it. Who wouldn't? Honestly, would you not buy a Doug Peterson jersey at this time?
Well, it's probably the only time you could buy a jersey of a player that played that's a coach. It's a unique marketing thing. Like, no other team could do that. You wish it wasn't a Nike jersey?
Yeah, I don't know. The Nike jerseys don't look right.
What did they used to have? I'm trying to picture
Reebok.
Was Reebok back then?
Oh, no, not well.
I'm just trying to picture the jersey Doug wore.
It was Puma for a little bit. I know there's a Brian Dawkins Puma out there.
Yeah, I got to look it up. I got to look up a picture of Doug Peterson jersey from when he played.
I mean, good luck finding that. But if you do,
well, just Google. Like, I'll just look at it, what it looks like.
No, but finding that kind of jersey on the open market.
You don't think there's anyone out there who still has a Doug Peterson jersey in their closet somewhere?
I don't think they're flying off the racks.
No, they cannot. I actually, my college suite mate had a Detmer jersey in his closet. I used to make fun of him for all the time. He didn't have a Peterson, though. Let's talk to John in South Carolina. What's up, John?
Hey, how you doing tonight?
Doing well, buddy. What's up?
Hey, man, just wanted to answer your questions. Well, my father and I, after the ball hit the ground, we decided we were going to drive up, and on the way up, we had nights for Monday and Tuesday, and then they moved the parade. So it was kind of a mess, but we just decided to embrace the moment and found another spot to stay. Got our SEPTA cards by the grace of God today that they sold out, but we got our SEPTA cards, so we were really excited about that. But the biggest thing for me was driving into the city on Monday night, and the city is just lit up in green, and you can feel it as soon as you get into Delaware and see the signs that say "Fly, Eagles, Fly," instead of "It takes 30 minutes to get into the city." Nobody cares. Nobody cares how long it's going to take. Taking forever to win the Super Bowl, and nobody cares.
That's right. When you have to wait 57 years for a Super Bowl, having a little traffic or having a little crowd tomorrow, that's not going to bother anybody.
No, absolutely not. The moment that I want to talk about, the moment in the game where I knew it was going to be our game, was the Jenkins hit. That hit just spoke volumes. It was like, we're here to fight. We're not letting you beat us. And
yeah, it was such an awesome hit, John. And part of it was because you don't see hits like that anymore. It was a tone-setting hit, and usually you can't see him because they call a flag on almost every one. It was a big hit.
It was awesome. Spent about $150 at the pro shop today. Picked up a hat, picked up a shirt, got my parade shirt for tomorrow, and we're going to get up at 4 a.m. and hit the train and try and get to the stadium for the start of the thing.
I love it, John. Good luck and have a good time tomorrow. I feel like I'm going to set the over-under. I feel like most people are spending like at least 50. And then if you
come on, Joe.
Well,
I'm saying
because one thing probably runs you around 40 or 50, depending on what you get. Like, what's the hat cost? What's a hat cost? 25, 30, 35?
Well, the one I got today was 28.
That's a good deal.
I mean, sure.
I mean, but hats usually cost 25, 30 bucks, right?
Yeah, in that range.
Yeah,
it's on the higher end. But like, here's the thing: once you get in the store and you see multiple things, you're like, oh, well, I gotta have that.
And you're there, so like,
yeah,
well, you're not gonna go back,
right? Exactly. By the way, did some research on the Google.com.
Google always helps.
He wore a Puma jersey.
The Puma jersey.
We got to get a Doug Peterson Puma jersey for you, Joe.
Do we think if we went on, we think we could buy it right now, like during the show? Or do you think someone has to find it for us? Do you think we could buy it, or do we have to find someone who has it and then we buy it from them?
No, well, I feel like if there is one, it would be on like eBay or Craigslist.
Let's look it up, Jack.
All right, well, since I'm the producer of this program.
Listen, if you do it and we find it, I'll buy it before the end of the show.
Please do.
All right, and we'll have it overnighted because I want to wear it tomorrow. All right, Eli in South Jersey. What's up, Eli?
Yo.
How you doing, bud?
I just want to say that your estimates for beating Chicago, you're thinking a little low there. I'm thinking you got to think more about like the pilgrimage to the, religious type stuff.
Oh, like the Mecca?
Yeah, I think that's what we're aiming for here. Like,
I think Broad Street, Eli, I think Broad Street is the Mecca tomorrow.
That's what I mean. I think that there's going to be people from all across the country coming from international places. So I think you need to start setting your numbers on some of those type things, like the people that are heading there for the once-in-a-lifetime religious experience numbers.
Yeah, I think tomorrow, here's what we should do, Eli. The new goal should be to have the largest gathering in human history. Is that fair?
I think that's pretty good. Right. That's a good number. So the reason why I was calling in was now everybody knows that we are the best team. We've known it for the whole season since the very beginning. I think mine for sure was back when the Broncos played. I mean, I made a big bet that we were going to win it back then, but even before, like, this team is special. We've known it. And then the pre-Super Bowl on NFL Network, they ran this video about celebrations, Eagles versus Patriots, and it just spoke volumes because none of our celebrations were awesome, by the way. All team involved in every single one. Everybody, whoever wants to get in on it, was fun. Nothing was disrespectful the whole season. There was no controversy with any of them. Everybody loved it. And it just, the whole team was together. They're all involved in each other's lives, all the wives and families. Like, they're sitting with the fans. They were showing, all the Patriots people, and they're with the mayors, and they're with all these high and whatever people, and the wives of all the Eagles players are hanging out with the fans, cheering them on. Mike Trout's down there. When are we getting him, by the way? He's hanging out with the fans.
Oh, he'll be here soon. Don't worry about that, Eli. He's going to play for the Phillies one day.
That's what I mean. Everybody is involved with everybody on the team, and everybody on the team is involved with all the Philadelphia fans. It's the most family atmosphere I've ever seen on any sports team ever, and it's going to light the fire for all the other franchises in our city. It's contagious. I'm getting excited again just talking about it.
Well, I mean, think about it. Right after the game, Joel Embiid said, "We're next." And that kind of contagious thing, it feeds off each other. I think it's part of the reason why, Eli, Boston, about a decade and a half ago, started to become this city of all these champions. Now, they had good teams, obviously, and they built their teams well, but I do think there's something to that the other teams will now look to the Eagles and say, look, we want to be next. We want to experience what they're having right now.
No doubt. And they see just the fun and the camaraderie and just how the whole city's behind them and just the whole country. I mean, you could hear the boos for the Patriots coming into the stadium. Everybody in that stadium, everybody in the country was behind the Eagles, and it's just going to stonewall for all the other teams coming up. I can't wait to see what all the other franchises do from now on.
It's going to be great. I think the tide has turned. Eli, we appreciate the call. I always say 2015, summer 2015 was the darkest days of Philadelphia sports that I've ever been alive for. Like, there was nothing going on. The teams were garbage, all of them at the same time for various different reasons. And I do think that. I think the tide is turning. 888-729-9494. That gets you aboard. We'll come back. Couple things. One, we'll take all your phone calls. Two, Nick Foles. He called maybe the biggest play of the game. And I don't mean the Philly special. The biggest moment, the ceiling moment. Nick Foles knew was going to happen. He called it. We'll let you hear Nick Foles predicting what would happen late in that game on the other side. And so I have a list here of the largest gatherings in human history. We're going to figure out where tomorrow is going to place. Because you know what? It's going to make this list. 888-729-9494 and Sports Radio 94 WIP. 8:43 on a Wednesday night. Joe Giglio hanging out with you. Sports Radio 94 WIP. Jack Fritz behind the glass. We've got Rob Chair in the updates. And you guys with us on the phone lines. 888-729-9494. That is how you hop in. Don't forget, tomorrow night, the post-parade party. Chickies at Pete's, South Philadelphia. I'll be there from 6 to 10 doing the show. Howard Eskin will be there from 6 to 7. And the first 200 people that get in line, so first 200 that get in line at Chickies tomorrow night, we'll get a chance to take a picture with the replica of the Lombardi Trophy. It's awesome. And you're going to want to have this, and it's an awesome memory to have. So come down to Chickies tomorrow And I'm sure there's going to be some great specials on everything, plus the replica Lombardi Trophy and some special guests along the way will be in attendance. So join us tomorrow night. Now, before we get back to the phone calls here, there's a lot of sound coming out and a lot of mic'd up players and moments in that game on Sunday that are slowly trickling out, and we're going to have a lot of it over the next couple days. But here's a good one. So we're talking about tonight, the play or the moment where you knew the Eagles were going to win the game. For a lot of people, it's probably the Brandon Graham strip sack on Brady. That was like, oh, they got it. They made the play. They finally made a play on defense. But listen to Nick Foles just before that play.
Eagles have a 5-point lead with 2:21 remaining in regulation.
Hey, D. Hey, strip him. Let's go. Strip him. Hey, Steven's going to get us a turnover. Y'all be ready to go. We're about to get a turnover. Let's get ready to roll.
How about Nick? Nick is every Eagles fan there. Because what is everyone saying? They need a turnover. They need to stop. Go get the football. And Brandon Graham did in the biggest play that guy's ever made. Let's talk to Tyler in Wayne. What's going on, Tyler?
Hey, how you guys doing?
Doing well, bud. What's up?
So I just want to say I'm so pumped for the parade tomorrow. I'm waking up at 5 a.m. Speaking of the parade, me and my brother, we just got back from the liquor store. We were heading down to Girard Ave, and who do we see picking up champagne, tequila, but Derek Barnett?
How about that? So I'm assuming, Tyler, that Derek's getting ready to have a good time on the float tomorrow.
Yeah, Derek, he like easily bought $200 worth of liquor. He was on the phone. He was FaceTiming with Chris Long. I said, what's up to Chris Long? It was completely starstruck. I walked right past him, and my brother's like, holy crap, is that Derek Barnett? And we had to like look him up and just like double check. And he could tell I was kind of hovering, and I was like, and then he kind of smiled when I was looking at him, and I was like, yo, Derek. And I was just completely starstruck, and I was like, this is the guy who helped make one of the greatest plays in Eagles history. And he's right here, and he's getting stuff for the parade that we're about to celebrate for him.
That is awesome, Tyler. If I see him tomorrow on the float and I see him sipping out of one of those bottles, I'm going to remember Tyler saw him last night at the liquor store.
Yeah, it was a great time.
So where are you going to be tomorrow? You trying to go down to the art museum, or
Yeah, we're coming from Port Richmond, so we're going to catch the L down to South Philly. A buddy of mine has got a house, so we're going to be right off of Broad. We're going to go mad early because I know it's going to be hell down there with everyone coming. I know the estimated people are supposed to be in maybe 4 million, which is insane, which is well deserved. The city deserves it. I'm just so excited. I can't believe this is happening in the city. I almost broke down in tears when I saw the end of that game. This is going to be one of the best days of my life. It's historic, and I'll remember it for the rest of my life.
It's going to be amazing, Tyler. Have a good time tomorrow. And, I've noticed that a lot of people calling in saying they want to go down to the art museum. Feels like everyone is trying to get to the art museum. That seems like a logistical problem.
Good luck. Do you want a take right now?
I always want to take.
Okay, I got a take that I've been sitting on for a little bit.
And after you give your take, I have to, I'm hurt, Jack, so I have to tell you about that. Trust tree stuff.
The trust tree.
All right, what's your take?
I think Derek Barnett's going to be a Hall of Famer.
Hall of Famer?
Yeah, he's so good. I have a feeling he's going to be one of those guys that always makes a big play when you need it. And next year, he should probably be starting. And he just feels like a guy. Like, first off, Barnett is a Hall of Fame name. 96.
Hall of Fame number.
Hall of Fame number.
Yep.
Hall of Fame name-number combination to go along with the talent.
He was compared coming out of school to a guy I think will be in the Hall of Fame one day in Terrell Suggs, or at least a borderline Hall of Fame. You think Terrell Suggs is a Hall of Famer?
Probably.
Defensive Player of the Year. He's got like 125 sacks. I think he's pretty close.
I would say so.
Yeah, so I don't think it's crazy. It is a take, though. After, what do you have, 5 sacks this year? We're basing this off 5 sacks?
Yeah, but come on. What's the eye tell you?
The eye tells me he's going to be a star. I think he's going to be a star player.
Right.
Now, you want to know why I'm hurt?
Sure.
So Jack, doing a good job producing the show, as always.
Yeah.
And he sent me a link here to buy, customize my own Peterson jersey. Here's the problem, Jack. You sent it to me from the youth shop. Okay? I know I'm not a big man, but I am not a youth medium nor a youth extra large. Like, I wear grown man clothes. I can't fit in youth clothes. So
I didn't know.
And I think he did.
You think it was a shot?
I think it was a shot. Like, am I going to get anything bigger than a medium? Probably not, but a men's medium. Not a youth medium. Let's talk to Mike in Deptford. What's up, Mike?
Joe, what's up, buddy?
How you doing, man?
Listen. So I got as I was on hold, thinking about what I was going to say, I just wrote a little song. You want to hear it?
Want to hear it? Let's hear it, Mike.
All right, man. It's more like a jingle. Here we go. 'Twas the night before the parade when all through the lands, while the creatures were stirring, especially the fans, the jerseys were hung by the door with care in hopes that the Super Bowl champion Eagles soon would be there. The children were nestled all snug in their beds, while visions of the Lombardi trophy danced in their heads. And fans in their hoodies and Doug in his cap had just settled down for a pre-parade nap. When out on Broad Street there arose such a chatter, we ran to the streets to see what was the matter. The Eagles were there, the team that we cheer, the champions of the world were suddenly near. We laughed and we cried and we shared in the joys. We hugged and we smiled and we felt just like boys. We all we got is we all we need. We love to be underdogs and we make sure we feed. Our story continues. This city we fight. It's Philly versus everybody. Super Bowl champions, and good night.
You just write that, Mike? You did that all by yourself? That's good.
I just wrote it.
That's Mike, that is really... I was entertained. That was good, man.
Thanks, man.
Have a great time tomorrow, all right?
Thanks, man.
There he goes, Mike in Deptford. You know, the creativity of the evening show, listeners and callers, it's off the charts. Listen, everybody. Listen. You know what? Mike in Westchester's not done buying stuff yet. What's up, Mike?
Joe, man, it's funny. I've heard a lot of people give reasons why the Eagles win the Super Bowl. I have one that's, I think, the key to everything. And it's not Carson. I mean, it's not Nick. It's not, the offensive line. It's Doug Peterson's attitude coming into this game that we are not going to fall victim to being in awe of the aura or the mystique of the Patriots. We're going to come in, and that's why they won.
Yeah, you know what they did, Mike? They decided before the game they were going to punch.
We're going for it.
Yeah, and they were going to punch them in the mouth before they got punched in the mouth.
Straight.
And they kept doing it over and over. They didn't let up.
He completely outcoached Belichick. I mean, it was amazing to see. And for a guy who only got one stinking vote as the coach of the year, I hope McVay enjoys that joke of a trophy. When you talk about dropping money, I've already dropped at least $500-600. I just telling Jack I got the media night. I had that hoodie that the Eagles wore. I bought that.
Oh, from last week, from media night over at the Super Bowl.
Yeah. And that, like you said, it only comes. This is the first time it's ever happened. It's only money, big deal, right?
Yeah, listen, and the next time they win it, because I think this team can win more. It's not going to be. It's not going to be the same, and it's not going to be. You're not going to feel like I have to go out and buy everything because you probably already have this stuff, and this is different. And so, Mike, did you buy that sweatshirt before they won, or did you wait till after?
No, I bought it. I ordered it after they won.
Okay, I was going to say if you bought it before,
I got it on eBay. I ordered it on eBay, and I just got it in the mail today.
No, it's cool, Mike. Mike, have a great one. All right.
Hey, you too, Joe.
There he goes, Mike in Westchester, who's chiming in about the sweatshirt. He bought the media day sweatshirt. I can't picture what they were wearing.
White sweatshirts. It was a nice, gorgeous. It's a gorgeous sweatshirt.
I remember now. I can picture your boy Alshon standing up there talking.
He looks gorgeous in a white sweatshirt.
Alshon, top 10 receiver in the NFL.
We talked about this earlier. Tell me he's not a top 10 receiver in the NFL.
The reason we're bringing it up is I think it was Peter Schrager. It was Good Morning Football. They had a tweet this morning corresponding to their show, and they said something to the effect of, you have to put Alshon in that group now. And it was like OBJ, it was Julio Jones, it was Antonio Brown. He's not as good as those guys.
As the leader of the Alshon is great. Fan movement. He is not in that category.
Next tier.
But he is a wide receiver one, which I was told that he was not.
Well, over the course of the season, he wasn't producing like a lot of other number one wide receivers. So I'm choking up here. I'm choking up over Alshon. And you know what, though? Played his butt off in the Super Bowl. He was great. And he got better. And when you think about it with Alshon this year, he was a guy that took him a while to warm up with Carson Wentz because he wasn't great at the beginning of the year. Carson missed him a little bit, but they weren't on the same page in the beginning of the year. And then I have to say, because I think the first two games that Foles played, I don't think Alshon caught a pass, or maybe one. It was like nothing.
He was non-existent until that second drive.
And then he got on the same page as Nick Foles, just like it took him a little while to get on the same page as Carson Wentz. Maybe that's the key.
Not an Alshon problem. It's a quarterback problem.
That sounds like a T-shirt you might make up for yourself.
Like I've said many times, Wentz cost Alshon some money this year.
Yes. You can't be in the president of both the Wentz and Alshon fan club at the same time. You got to pick.
I know, but it feels like I root harder for Alshon.
You do. You're the biggest Alshon fan here.
I'm a ride or die for Alshon.
Ride or die for Alshon Jeffrey. 888-729-9494, pound 9494 on your AT&T Verizon wireless cell phones. How big is Nick Foles right now? Oh, just
pretty big.
Well, he's pretty big. This is how big he is. The greatest athlete in the world. The greatest athlete in the world right now. Quoted him on Twitter. We'll tell you who it was and what he said. And by the way, that guy might play in Philadelphia next year. We'll talk about it. Sports Radio 94 WIP. 8:59 on a Wednesday night. Joe Giglio hanging out with you. Sports Radio 94 WIP. Jack Fritz behind the glass. We have Rob Chair in the updates. You guys with us. All right. I mentioned a couple things before we break we want to touch on here. One is the pilgrimage, or what's going to be called tomorrow. I think it's an Eagles pilgrimage tomorrow into Philadelphia. We've heard from so many people tonight from all over the place that are coming in. So we've talked about beating the Cubs and having the largest sports gathering ever. So I have a list in front of me here. These are, I don't know how accurate these numbers are, but let's just pretend they are. So I have a list of the top 10 human gatherings in the history of the world. The Cubs at 5 million for their parade are on this list.
Fake news.
Fake news, according to Jack. It's the only sporting event on this list, or sports-related thing. To give you an idea of the other ones. Pilgrimage to the Mecca in Saudi Arabia got 3 million people. Somehow a Rod Stewart concert. I don't have anything against Rod Stewart. I just don't know how many he got this many people. Rod Stewart in Brazil in 1994 got 3.5 million people. World Youth Day in the Philippines in 95 got 5 million. The Pope in the Philippines, 6 million. I think the Eagles parade get on this list. Number 10 on this list is 3 million. They're blowing 3 million out of the water. Can it beat the Rod Stewart concert, 3.5 million? It better. 5 million beats the Cubs parade. It could be the largest gathering involving sports, Jack, in the history of humankind. I'll take that.
Better. That's all I want. I just want to beat everyone else. The problem is that the city, since it was the birthplace of this great nation, it's a bit tight.
Yeah, well, like the guy who called him before and talked about how many people could logistically fit on Broad Street, not as many as you think.
I think people are going to figure out a way to get wherever they need to go.
Sitting on people's shoulders, standing on buildings.
Yeah. It's going to be it's going to be a nightmare.
It's not going to be.
I just remember I was reading the police scanner after they won, and the cops said there's people on 676, and I don't know how they got them to 676.
So expect a lot of craziness.
Yeah, definitely.
I think it's going to be a little more toned down than Sunday night, just because it's not that kind of atmosphere.
Yeah, there's little kids.
Yeah, it's more like just a festive atmosphere. But festive atmosphere with 4 million people in a city that probably can't handle 4 million people. Let's talk to Tim, who's going to be one of those millions tomorrow. What's up, Tim?
Yo, what's going on, guys?
How you doing, buddy?
Pretty good. I'm with my mom. We're driving back from NC. I go to college down there.
So you're driving up right now?
Yeah, we're driving up right now, just across the Pennsylvania border.
So what's your plan for tomorrow? You coming in now, sleeping tonight? Like, how you doing this, considering how many people are going to be here?
Well, we're from the Lancaster area, so we're going to take the Amtrak train from Lancaster to 30th Street, and we'll probably just figure it out from there.
I like it. I like it, Tim. I like that people are prepared, which you got to be. And Tim, we appreciate the call. I mean, SEPTA and all these different things today have put out these tweets and notifications like, hey, we're stopping selling tickets this time. Here's when trains stop. You have to, if you're going to do this, and I know everyone is, you have to kind of know your way around the land and be prepared so you don't get stuck somewhere or not be able to get over. Actually, I know it's going to be like 32 degrees tomorrow. I read today that the best way to get around, or at least it's suggested, is if you have a bicycle. It feels cold to bike, but if you have a bike and you want to do it, bike.
I'm already nervous about how much the Ubers are going to be.
I actually saw a tweet, I'll retweet it, that Uber was offering some sort of deal. Like you could get in now. But they're going to price gouge, right? It's going to go up?
Yeah, definitely.
That's your plan?
Well, I'm going to be staying in Manayunk, so I'm nervous about how much that's going to cost. Although Manayunk is closest to the art museum.
Yeah, it's not
kinda, sorta.
It's not that far. So no. What's your plan? Like, what time are you trying to get down there?
I don't know. Here's the problem. Because I'm staying with my fiance and her sister and husband. So, and they were like, hey, we'll get coffee at 9 a.m. I was like, listen, people.
Listen.
9 a.m. is too late. So I want to get up at like 7 and start moving early, but I don't think they're going to be down.
That's a disaster.
Yeah, I know. Listen, I'm already having cold sweats about it.
you got to get those people up at 6:37. That you can get your coffee then.
Yeah, but I'll suck it up for one night. I sucked it up for Wing Bowl. I got 3 hours of sleep. I'll do it again tonight.
You'll be fine. You get out of here at 12. What time will
sort of?
All right. What time will you be at their house? 12:30?
Yeah, 12:30, 12:45.
Just go to sleep when you get there.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Hey guys, I'm going to bed. See ya. Listen, you got to. This is the parade, Jack. You got to get.
Listen,
with it.
I'm going to do it. I'm just nervous about it. I hate traffic. I really do.
I do too. Actually, I get really irritable in traffic. I don't usually get upset at most things. I can't handle traffic. I yell in the car. It's not good. It really is. And
do you terrify of the kids?
No, I try not to do it when they're in the car. It's when I'm by myself and I'm usually running late, mostly because I have too much to do. And yeah, I'm not a good. It's not a good scene. I don't want to be in traffic either, Jack. I'm not excited for that part of the whole thing tomorrow. Now, I mentioned before the break, the world's best athlete is a big Nick Foles fan. How about this? So, the transcript of Nick Foles' quote, we played it for you last night about failure and about failure is a part of life and how you rebound from it shows who you are. It's a great quote. It is a great look at who Nick Foles is. It's really inspirational. So the transcript of it and a picture of someone who typed out the whole thing was floating around Twitter. Guess who took the picture, tweeted it out? About LeBron James. LeBron James. Count him in the Nick Foles fan club. And what he wrote on Twitter with the picture is #facts, 100 emoji, embrace the struggle, salute and congrats on that performance, and ring in the big dance at Nick Foles 9. LeBron James.
It's good that goats recognize other goats.
That's what I'm saying. The greatest on the hardwood. He appreciates the greatest on the field, which right now, it's Nick. Let's talk to Jake. What's up, Jake? Jake, you with us, buddy? Jake's going once. Jake's too excited.
Too excited.
I know that's this week. You got a lot of people that are too excited. Adam is actually down in Atlanta, Georgia. What's up, Adam?
Hey, how you doing?
Doing good, buddy. What's up?
No, not much. Unfortunately, I can't make it up, but I did buy a jersey and I did buy a hat for the after they won the championship. First jersey, actually, I bought the Fletcher Cox jersey, and although I can't make it up, I think I can make it up in spirit. I'm a professor down here at UNG, University of North Georgia, and I made my biology students, for extra credit, I made them chant the Eagles. I made them do that spell the Eagles chant for me.
I love it. Now, Adam, am I going to guess correctly in saying most of your students or a good portion are Falcons fans? Some at least, because that's got to be painful if it's some.
Yeah, some. They're basically. Speaking to some of my students, that was more kind of like a slap in the face. They were really bummed out with the Georgia loss to Alabama.
Okay.
Once Georgia went down, and then the Falcons game, they're Falcons. They're more kind of fair weather fans here when it comes to Falcons. But when Georgia went down, they were all just getting geared up for the Falcons. And then when the Falcons went down, that was just kind of getting slapped in the face, and they're already down. But the guys basically weren't having it, but the girls all screamed. It's
what, for extra credit? That's not that bad for extra credit.
It's pretty fun.
No, it's good.
All right, thank you very much.
You got it, Adam. Appreciate the phone call. Yeah, for extra credit, and my grades in college weren't exactly where they needed to be, I would have screamed almost any chant. That doesn't seem too hard. Fly, Eagles, fly. Go, Eagles, go, Birds. And now, obviously, people down there aren't Eagles fans, but I don't think that's that hard to do. Let's grab Chris. What's up, Chris? Hey, buddy.
Yo.
Chris, what's up?
Hey, not much. I heard you guys talking about the Doug Peterson jersey.
Yes.
I have one. I have a game-worn Philadelphia Eagles Doug Peterson jersey. I'm staring at it right now. My brother worked for them 20 years ago. It was the same camp Bobby Hoying was in, and McNabb held out that summer, and he put it in his closet. Doug gave him the jersey. My brother put the jersey away, and then last season when they signed Doug to be the coach, I asked my brother, I said, do you still have that jersey? He said, yeah, and then he gave it to me, and I wore it last season, and I've been wearing it this season too, and I wore it to Kansas City. Unfortunately, I was at the Kansas City game. And, yeah, I can tell you, I mean, game-worn, Puma, Doug Peterson jersey, there's got to be, 3 in existence? Doug Peterson's mom, me, and like maybe one other person have this jersey.
Yeah, I'm going to be the third one, Chris. Nobody out there has a Doug Peterson jersey. That is amazing. So at some point this year, did you start realizing, like, hey, it's pretty cool to have a Doug Peterson jersey again?
I mean, before the very beginning of the season, I was wearing it, and I would say to people, "Is there a more fitting jersey for this year?" Like, because people would look at it and they would say, "Oh, Riley Cooper," because it's 14, and I'd be like, "Nah, guess again," and they would guess like all these different names, and then I would turn around, and they'd be like, "Peterson," and it's like, yeah, it's like, is there a more appropriate jersey for this year? Now, I didn't know they were going to do, obviously, I didn't know they were going to do what they did this year, but yeah, there couldn't be a more fitting jersey for Doug Peterson. And like, you know, like whoever scores and they'll put their 2 thumbs behind their back and they'll point to the name on the back of the jersey. I do the same thing when Doug goes for it on 4th and 1, 4th and 3. I did it on Sunday. They 4th and 1 in the 4th quarter. When they made it, when Ertz caught the pass to get the first down, I stood up, I put my 2 thumbs behind my back, I pointed to Peterson's name. I love the jersey, I love the team.
I love it. Chris, I have to get my hands on one of these so I could do the same thing. Great story, Chris. So they're out there. Jack, they're out there.
Are you crying?
A little bit.
You getting a little emotional in there?
A little bit. Because I don't have one and he does.
I know. You know, you want what you can't have, Joe.
That happens a lot in life, Jack. And typically it doesn't happen around coach jerseys, but hey, we're in weird times right now. The Birds won the Super Bowl. Brian's out in L.A. What's up, Brian?
Well, first of all, how do I follow that story? That's an incredible story.
Isn't it? That's really good.
I tell you. But first of all, I wanted to give a little plug to our fan club out here in L.A. in Hermosa Beach, South Bay Eagles Alliance. We've got 300 members, and we watch every game in Hermosa Beach at Chelsea's. Hey, real quick, a couple of points. You had said you were really happy that they reversed the parade and are having it stop at the art museum. But there's a reason for that. You know, where did the NFL season start?
At the art museum.
At the art
museum.
Draft,
yeah.
What was there?
The draft.
The Lombardi Trophy.
That's right.
So what's going to happen?
It's going to end there.
They're bringing it back.
I love it.
They're going to finish this season at the art museum with the Lombardi Trophy.
It's a really cool symmetry. I mean, this whole year, it's just been Philadelphia's football year. You mentioned it, the draft, how great of an event that was, and now it ends with a parade.
There was 60, 70, 80,000 people there. Hey, a couple other real quick points. First of all, I was a little upset at Pink. She didn't wear a jersey, Eagles jersey. She's from Doylestown, so I was a little upset on that. But real quick, the Patriots are still trying to beat us. What did they do today? They tell Josh McDaniel to pull out of Indy so that Indy can go out and interview our Frank Reich. I mean, come on. They're still trying to beat us. They're not going to beat us. No way.
Well, they certainly can't this year. Brian, we appreciate that. Whole thing is a mess. Now, I don't think that's why that happened, but it is a mess with the Patriots and the Colts. And
it did come out that Kraft is still trying to get back at them for Deflategate. So
yeah, like the
rivalry's back on, baby.
That rivalry?
Yeah.
Well, their GM said that, right?
I want Andrew Luck to be healthy.
So do I. I love Andrew Luck.
So do I.
Andrew Luck and Carson are very similar.
We have an update on my situation tomorrow. The 9 a.m.
What do you got?
Planning on walking from Manioc. So I might be down a couple pounds tomorrow.
Walking from Manioc?
Yeah, it's going to be a heck of a walk.
And what time are you going to leave?
I don't know. For me, I'm going to need to leave more than enough time for me to get there.
Well, that's your excuse to get your party up early. All right, everyone get up. We have to walk.
Yeah.
Maybe that actually helps you.
I think I'm going to shed 5 pounds tomorrow.
Well,
Not only will it be cold, so my body's going to have to be shivering, which shivering sheds weight, as we all know, of course. And I'm walking at least 3 miles.
You're leaving a part out, though. Beers when you get to the parade. I know you got to work tomorrow night, Jack, but come on. Bud Light's giving out some free beer. You're not going to have one?
I mean, Bud Light's like water. So, yeah, it's nothing.
I get it, but if you have more than one, you could put it back on.
Maybe 6.
Maybe 7. All right, Jake's up next. What's up, Jake? Jake, you with us? All right, Jake started the party early.
Jake is unclutched, man. He called back, said he's ready to go. I said, okay, I'll move you up to 1. And then he just...
You know what Jake doesn't have, clearly? Doesn't have the clutch gene. We are finding that out. You know who does? I think Dan in Baltimore has the clutch gene. He's ready to talk. What's up, Dan?
Hey, how you doing?
Doing great, buddy. What's up?
Man,
I'm just like, I'm living down in Baltimore 10 years now with one friend from Philly, a bunch of friends from Chicago, from all these other places, trying to explain to people what it's like to be a fan that yearns for a championship that's just never felt it. You know, I've been a fan since 20 years, since I was 9 years old, listening to this radio station, following all these teams. We like to tell our friends, you know, we got the best teams. They give us hope. We have faith in them. And yet, at some point, they make us cry.
That's right.
And it's a whole, you know, the end of the game came, you know, this last weekend, and we didn't know what to feel. We didn't understand it. We couldn't comprehend what had happened. You know, so it's crazy. So I'm just getting into West Philly now because I need to feel this love. I need to feel what this city feels like. Only other time we had a championship in my lifetime, you know, when the Phillies won, I was living abroad. So I've literally never felt what this is like. I'm so pumped for the team. I'm pumped for the city. I'm happy to say that I'm from here. And I've always known our teams are the best, and it's finally happened. I'm blown away, man.
Yeah,
blown away.
No, it's awesome, Dan. And you got to be down there. So I lived a little outside of Baltimore, actually, Dan, for about a year and a half, and I was down there when the Ravens won. So you got to be down there for another team's parade, but not your own.
Yep. And I paraded with the Ravens. Had a great time. Lost the heck out of my friends first thing in the morning. I lost everybody. Ended up in the stadium. But I have a feeling tomorrow is going to be a different level. There's going to be, you know, way more people. There's going to be way more energy, a lot more hugs in the street. I'm ready to cry with some people. I've been listening to you guys all week, all the, you know, every chance I get. I'm a touring musician, so I've been driving around in the car a lot. Every chance I get to listen to WIP this week, it's been on in my car. And, man, I love the stories of, you know, past fans whose spirits are with their family that are watching these games. And, you know, I got parents that are not from Philly, so I kind of bred my own fandom in this city of the Birds and of the Flyers and the Sixers. And like I said, I got one fellow fan down in Baltimore, and we just didn't understand it. We couldn't compute, man. We couldn't compute. So I'm here to bring it back down, bring it back down to Baltimore and tell people what it's like to be a Philly fan who actually has a winning team.
Dan, there's a bar down there. I'm trying to remember the name of it. You've probably been there. There's a bar. I think it's like a Philly bar. Then the owners are Eagles fans, and it's all decked out with green stuff. You're a bit. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh no, I don't. I gotta find it.
Dan, all right, check it out. On the top of my head, I think the place might be called McGurk's. I gotta find it for you. You call back, I'll tell you. But
McGurk's.
Yeah, I went there.
I play music there sometimes.
Yeah, you know what? Maybe it's somewhere else then. But there was a bar I used to go to when I lived down there. It was pretty cool. Anyway, Dan, you enjoy it, and go Birds, bud.
Go Birds!
There he goes. Dan in Baltimore, trying to keep the Philadelphia fandom down in Baltimore.
If you do plan on driving into the city, the Philadelphia Parking Authority just announced that they're not going to be enforcing any meters, kiosks, or residential parking limits tomorrow.
So if you can find a spot...
Yes, which you won't because they're probably parking tonight.
Yes.
But if you could...
Well, you could do what some people have told us, like the one guy who's sleeping in a parking garage. Seems safe. Just find a spot on the street, sleep there.
Sure.
I mean,
they won't enforce it.
They will not enforce it. You know what? I'm all for that. I think they should never enforce the parking meters anyway. But tonight, they're not going to. Tomorrow, they're not going to. 888-729-9494, pound 9494. That's how you hop on in. We come back, your phone calls, and we got to let you hear this. Doug Peterson today, in his wrap-up press conference with the media, talked about why he got into coaching, what this was all about, and what really drives him here. I think you'll like the answer. We'll talk about it next. Sports Radio 94, WIP. 9:25 on a Wednesday night. Joe Giglio hanging out with you. Sports Radio 94, WIP. Jack behind the glass. Rob Cherry, as you heard there on the updates. You guys with us. 888-729-9495. I'm rewatching the game, which is on again right now on NFL Network. And Alshon just caught the touchdown pass in the first quarter to go up. They went up 9-3 because they missed the extra point. But a big catch by Alshon.
I think it moved.
We know, Jack. We get it. You love Alshon. But the play before was a big run by LeGarrette Blount. I didn't think LeGarrette Blount could play this well all season. He ran the ball well in the Super Bowl.
Blount was like the seventh storyline, and he had 90 yards and a touchdown.
He was incredible. I remember last year in the Super Bowl, he fumbled early, and he didn't play much the rest of the game.
Yeah, benched.
He got benched. And here, when they signed him, I thought he could be a really good, rotation back, and he was. But he kept their rotation, which everyone said all year, was like, well, when is Ajayi going to get 1 million carries? And why aren't they doing this? It worked. They were all fresh. They all could play. And I saw this stat this morning. The Eagles, and I don't know how you calculate this. I don't know where this came from, so I'm not going to pretend this is like, this is gospel, but whatever. It's a stat I saw. The Eagles had more yards after contact than any team in the history of the Super Bowl. Like, their running backs were really, really good on Sunday. And Clement didn't even have a big day running the ball. His obviously came in the pass game. All right, before we go back to the phone lines, Doug Peters today, end of year press conference. And he was asked a lot of different questions, about the game, the season, the message to the team. And then he got into a little bit about why he got into doing what he does right now, why he wanted to become a coach. I love this answer. Here's Doug.
The reason I get into this business is to just to win, just to win. I don't care who gets the credit. I want to help a team, succeed and be successful on and off the football field. And, that's what I did in high school. And, that's what I hope I'm doing here, and just stay humble, stay grounded, be me, don't change, work hard, and I think good things will happen.
That is classic Doug Peterson there. I mean, that's like a backup quarterback talking about why he does what he does. And I think when he said that, I thought back to Nick Foles calling the Philly special. And Doug's like, yeah, all right, let's do it. Not about him. It's just about the team. And he's leading it. But, think about this. That really was Doug Peterson's Super Bowl. But who's getting all the accolades this week? Doug's getting a lot. But what are we talking about more than anything from the Super Bowl? Nick Foles. But that was Doug. Doug schemed it up for Nick to succeed. And you think back to the season, there was much more conversation. And I get it. It's all about players and quarterbacks. They're the ones that get our attention. But before the Carson Wentz injury, there were some people out there who believed Carson Wentz was dragging Doug Peterson along. Yeah, Doug's all right, but it's Carson Wentz. No, how about this? Doug's damn good. And those quarterbacks, Carson is great, and Nick played at a high level. But, this could be Doug Peterson's week to stand up top and say, hey, everyone who doubted me, look what I just did. Hey, Mike Lombardi, you're a dope. He didn't say anything. Just doing his thing. Let's talk to Anthony in Williamstown. What's up, Anthony?
Hey, what's up, Joe? Thanks for having me on. I got 2 points to make. One's a point and one's a question about the, when they get to talk over at the art museum. Who's going to announce Nick Foles? Are the players going to announce each other, or is it going to be like, Peterson's just going to go up there and announce every player? Like, how's it work?
I don't know the answer to that. My guess would be maybe Merrill is going to be an MC, or I could see Dave Spadaro doing something.
Because I thought it would be kind of cool, again, if it could be Peterson or it could be Carson, but if one of those two guys, it could be Merrill. When they introduce Nick, it'd be sweet, and if they say, by the way, when he walks up to the podium, by the way, Nick, let me have the honor of shaking your hand, and just a little, knife in the back, or just a little, snub to Tom. He can't swallow his pride for 2 minutes to shake Nick Foles' hand. It's just disgraceful.
He was. And really there's no reason for it. He's been on that stage so much. And I can't even give him, it's the first time he lost. He didn't know how to handle it. He's lost these games before.
Yeah. And the second thing is, so is there going to be enough room for Kevin Hart? Is Kevin Hart going to be on the float, or what's going on?
What?
I don't want to see.
I don't know. I'm sure he's going to be around somewhere. And there's a lot of Eagle fan celebrities, Anthony, we appreciate it, that I'm sure going to pop up tomorrow. I would guess Bradley Cooper's going to be on a float. He was next to Jeff Lurie in the box on Sunday.
Fitting Kevin Hart into places probably isn't the hardest thing in the world.
That's a good point, Jack.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Not the biggest guy there. Eric in North Wales. What's up, Eric?
Hey, Joe. Thanks for having me on. I just wanted to let you guys know what tomorrow means to me and where it comes from. It's from Fritz Hero. It's very, very simple. We win today, and we walk together forever. And tomorrow, we walk together forever.
That's it.
And that's
forever.
It's very, very simple. And I cannot wait to see everybody down there. I'm going to be hugging and high-fiving everybody. Even Jack, when I'm done, I'm on my way to my car, and he's walking from Manayunk.
You're going to get out of your car, give him a hug, and then keep driving?
I'm going to, no, after the parade's over, and we're done at the art museum, and he's still walking from Manayunk.
he still won't be there. Still on his way.
He won't be there.
Listen, he's got to leave early.
Do I start walking now?
It doesn't matter.
Should Jack leave now and start walking? I think so.
Tomorrow we walk together forever, and that's it. That's all I wanted to say.
That's right, Eric, and we appreciate it. And tomorrow you can walk with Jack to the art museum.
I'll be walking.
You probably should leave now.
Yeah, I probably should.
Just leave. I don't think you won't get in trouble for that. Jack leaves now. No one produces the rest of this show or Jody's show. But you know what? He gets a good spot at the parade. Emily in Middletown. How you doing, Emily?
Hey, Joe, I'm on my way.
You're coming? Where are you?
I'm coming. I am 295. I'm heading to Voorhees, and we're going to catch the Petco tomorrow morning.
Awesome. So where are you coming from?
Middletown, Delaware.
Okay, so you had enough from Delaware, staying over in New Jersey, and you're going to be part of this thing. Were you always going to come, Emily, or did you, the way they want it, you say, you know what, I got to be there?
Oh, no, I got to be here. My boys play baseball, so I've always been a baseball girl. And we had season tickets the year that the Phillies won the World Series, and we were at Boy Holiday's no-hitter, and we were at the playoff game. We didn't go to the World Series because we don't have that kind of coin. But, so there's no way I'm going to miss this. And, it's like this past year, I've been trying to learn the game. Yes, I'm still a little bit confused, but it's an awesome game. I love it. It's exciting. But you know what I want to know? What the heck was Belichick wearing?
You know what? I always wonder that, Emily. He dresses oddly. I'll put it that way.
Flash dance.
Would you say flash dance?
It was almost like flash dance. I'm like, what is he wearing?
Yeah, no, he has a tendency to wear things you say, what is he doing? Like he has the cut-off sweatshirts. Here, my thing, I think at some point Bill just decided he doesn't give a hoot anymore about what anyone thinks, and he wears what he wants, but he does look ridiculous sometimes.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, for someone who's as great as what he does as Belichick is, he doesn't have an appearance that will make you think, oh yeah, this guy's a genius out there. And you know what, Sunday? He didn't coach like a genius. Doug Peterson did, though, Emily.
No, but you know what? Everybody's celebrating at the end, and I'm still looking like, did we win? Are you sure? Did we catch the ball? Did we drop it? Did we not?
Yeah, you know what? It is, and it's real now, Emily. And you enjoy tomorrow. Thank you for the call. It's real. They did it. They're the champions, and it's tomorrow's going to be just an amazing day to celebrate it, because I feel like the last 3 days has just been some variation of people just. It's almost like a daze in this city, where it's just like you look at each other, you say Eagles, you say Go Birds, you say Super Bowl, and over and over and over. And tomorrow, I think it'll settle in. I think it'll really will hit everyone that this thing tomorrow is real. And we're going to have you covered all day. So Angela's going to start off at 6 a.m. I know Ike and John are going to be on a bus or on a float. They're going to be on this thing, getting sound and talking to the players. I'll be at Chickies tomorrow night, kind of as everything winds down. And if you're looking for something to do tomorrow night, like what are you going to, we're in the city, all that, come out to Chickies. We're hanging out. We have a great show planned, and we're going to have a replica trophy there. So you can take a picture with a replica of the Lombardi trophy. You get online, you come on out, doing the show 6 to 10 tomorrow night at Chickies at Pete's in South Philly. So if you're kind of wandering around after, it's like, where do we go now? We can't just drive out of here. We're staying another night. Coming out of Chickies, it'll be a great time. 888-729-9494, pound 9494 on your AT&T and Verizon wireless cell phones. We'll come back, all your phone calls, and one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL was traded today. No, it's not quite what you think. We'll tell you who it is and where he's going on the other side. Sports Radio 94, WIP. 9:41 on a Wednesday night. Joe Giglio hanging out with you. Sports Radio 94, WIP. What's up, Jeff?
This is a weird song. It feels weird when it comes on the air.
I'm trying to think of what atmosphere
it just sounds like it's best like a worm rave.
A rave, yes. I've never been to a rave. Have you?
No.
We're not rave guys.
Oh, this is weird. Listen to this. Why is this a return?
That's above our pay grade. The returns, we just come on and say hi. We just talk about the birds. It is kind of a weird. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of it. But did you hear this, Jack? A big-time NFL quarterback was traded today. Did you know that, Jack Fritz?
Can't believe I'm not hearing about it until right now.
Because it's weird, and I think there's a reason why most people don't know about this. Russell Wilson was traded today to the New York Yankees. So if you didn't know, Russell Wilson was actually a really good college baseball player. He was a pretty high pick as well in the baseball draft. Could have been a pro baseball player. Obviously, the football careers worked out pretty well. but he's still been property, which is what they call it in baseball, property of the Texas Rangers organization. He actually goes to spring training and he plays a little bit. It's not like he's going to make the team. He doesn't want to. It's just he's on the roster. So I guess his dream was to always play for the Yankees, and he made it known, and they made it happen, and it was for cash. So anyway, you could tell people this today. Russell Wilson, traded. No longer just a Seahawk. Now he's a Seahawk and a Yankee. Let's go to the phone lines. Ari, what's up, bud? Ari, how you doing, man?
Hey, what's up? Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Kind of fell asleep for a little bit there, you know?
Well, that means the show's not entertaining you, Ari. You got to stay awake. We got to keep you awake, all right?
No, I just came home from work. So
I hear you. What's up?
And just real quick, I heard this little Peterson genius talk, and I just think, of course, he's a quarterback, at heart. So, a quarterback always has to process a lot more information, about the game than most players. So, there's no surprise that Peterson was calling excellent games. But
I think you're right. I think it's a real advantage he has, and most coaches aren't former quarterbacks. It's not it's just they have a rare thing here. And you're right. He's able to process information and make decisions very quickly and see things quickly that I think a lot of head coaches and play callers can't.
Right. They haven't been in the mix in that huddle, But anyways, I just wanted to get back to Foles real quick about something. I don't remember clearly. Was Wentz did he have a speech with the Lombardi Trophy or anything like that?
I don't remember here. No, I don't think so. He was on the podium. I saw pictures, and I remember seeing him on my television screen, Ari. But I don't think there was a microphone and an interview for Carson. No.
See, the thing is, because, I know, look, Foles got us, 5 wins, or at least 4.5, and then Dallas game, that was nothing. But, hey, he played better and better as time went on. But everyone's still, I think people are forgetting, Wentz got us pretty much 12 wins. 11 and a half.
Yeah, you know what, Ari? I think that the story of this Eagles season, they shouldn't forget. And I really don't think as time goes on, people will. Obviously right now, Nick Foles is the man, and he's a Super Bowl MVP, and he played.
No matter what, forever,
he played lights out.
Nick Foles lit up that Super Bowl, and it's all Foles. I mean, the credit goes to him for that game, but for the whole season and how it led up to the Super Bowl, people have to remember, Wentz was the big X factor there.
No, there's no doubt. Ari, he was amazing. We appreciate the phone call. Nick Foles was the MVP of the league before he went out, and the Eagles wouldn't have won the Super Bowl without Carson Wentz's contributions. Because I don't know. Look, as well as they played, as well coached as they were, I don't know if the Eagles get to the Super Bowl without home field advantage. Because it took Nick some time to work his way through. I mean, think about Nick Foles' first half against Atlanta. If that's a road game, his first half of the playoffs, I don't know if things work out the same. The home field spurred them to the Super Bowl, and then by then, Nick was ready to become, the best of himself, and that won the Super Bowl. Let's grab Bill in Pottstown. What's up, Bill?
Hey, Joe. Thank you so much for taking my call.
You got it, man.
I just want to connect a couple dots here on a story that really goes full circle with WIP and the Philadelphia Eagles and this whole idea of the underdogs and how I had a little part that I could share in it the whole year. And I wanted to wait until everything was final and they won the Super Bowl because I was tempted to call in along the way. But now that they've finally done it, I had to break through the phones and get a hold of you guys. But back in August, when you guys held your garage sale for the Pennsylvania SPCA, it really touched me that you guys were doing that to support those animals. And I came out and I purchased Merrill Reese golf bag and his putter, and felt so good about having won that as a memento, and then two, for what the cause was, for, helping out all of these dogs. And I can remember the dog that was out there that was on site. And I got to tell you, that golf bag and that putter was the best good luck charm all season. It was at my dad's house. We rubbed that putter every night during the games. It came over for the Super Bowl to my house, and everybody, the family was there, and everybody was, just taking a moment because it's been such a good luck charm for us. But this whole thing with you guys really supporting underdogs from the very beginning is just, I think, a pretty cool story.
Yeah, you know what? It did come full circle, Bill, and that was an awesome thing we did, and I'm a big dog lover, so I was so happy that we had that in the summer, and now to come full circle with this, and Bill, great story, appreciate you bringing it back up. How about that? This whole thing in August, at least with us here at the station, started with trying to help out dogs in need, and it ends with the Eagles becoming underdog champions, Jack Fritz.
You're welcome.
You did that?
No, just like as a station. You're welcome, everyone.
You're welcome. It was us. We spurred this thing on. Come on, let's be real about it. Fred is in Northern Liberties. What's up, Fred?
Hey, what's up, fellas? I just want to touch base on a few things. One, so back in 2002, 2003, I was going to college down at University of Tampa when that should have been our parade, but it's all good now. I got to see the Buccaneers fans, enjoying that win. At University of Tampa, we didn't have a football team, but we had the Bucks did their OTAs and their summer practice there, and I think like the Germany Galaxy or some NFL Europe team used to practice there too in their off season. So they had a field goal post. I remember everyone getting crazy. They ripped the field goal post down and they launched it into the Hillsborough River, and that thing was just floating out into the Hillsborough Bay. So that was pretty funny to see. But it's always been in the back of my mind, like, when is this going to happen here in Philadelphia, man? Like, we just got to, 2004, 2005 with the, Patriots and all that. I mean, this is just so sweet. It's amazing that it's finally happened. And looking back, it's all good now because, like, all those better years, all those close years, all the rough years, it's all good.
It's all worth it now, Fred. It's all forgiven. All those bad memories, they're gone now. It doesn't matter anymore.
It's all good, and coincidentally, one of my roommates from Tampa, he's never been to Philadelphia, always trashed the city like everybody does, and it's all good. But he finally came into town like 2 weeks ago, right? I think it was right after the Atlanta game, and he was staying at the Ritz, and I met him downtown, had some drinks and dinner and all that. Good dude and all, but, an Eagles hater, but it was funny. And he's like, don't worry, they're going to mess this up for you guys. I'm like, come on, dude, don't hate. But, we got to experience Philadelphia, and it all worked out. And I still got to call him and talk a little smack to him.
Oh, you have to now. Fred, you got to get him back. Look, if you talk smack and you said they couldn't do it, well, they did it. Fred, we appreciate the call. Yeah, you can call him back now. We're going to talk to Sal Jr. in South Philly. What's up, Sal Jr.?
Yo, what's up?
How you doing, buddy?
Yo, who let the dogs?
Sal, I think you let the dogs out, Sal.
Yeah.
All right, Sal.
What's with Tom Brady not shaking Nick Foles' hand?
Well, you know what? I think Tom Brady was a little embarrassed, Sal. I think he was a little embarrassed he lost that Super Bowl to Nick Foles.
Yeah.
All right, Sal. Go Birds, all right?
Yeah.
The kid's calling him the show, Jack. Sprinkle a kid in every now and then.
It's a really enlightening call. Really glad he took him.
You know what, though? I used to be that kid that called in Sports Talk Radio, and I don't know if I had a call like that, but I think it's a little nerve-wracking. You ever call when you were a kid?
Yeah, I actually called Joe DeCamera once. On the other side.
Right, I get it. I mean, he wasn't always here, obviously.
He wasn't always here. Yeah.
How old were you?
High school.
That's not really a kid.
No, I called in to Angelo once, and I was
when you were a kid.
Yeah, I was too afraid to go on, so I hung up.
See, so that kid has more courage than you did.
Thanks.
I'm just telling the truth here. Let's grab one more. Let's grab Alex in Haddon Heights. What's up, Alex?
Hey, how you doing?
Good, man.
Initially when I watched the game, I had a lot of frustration at Schwartz and how he was calling the game. I didn't think he was trying to generate enough pressure. But now that I've had a chance to rewatch it and watching some of the stuff on the NFL Network, I got to give him credit for some scheme that he did, especially on the Brady strip sack. He used the NASCAR package, which they borrowed from the Giants who initially created it, which is putting your best pass rushers inside.
Yeah, Brandon Graham on the strip sack came from the inside. Was playing defensive tackle.
Yeah. He used it 3 times in the game. I wish he would use it a little bit more, but each of the 3 times, Graham actually created, drive-changing, plays. I mean, he created the rush, the incompletion, one of them and another one. So that, I mean, it was, I give you Schwartz a little credit for doing, scheming at the right time. I do hope, they say going forward, some games you're not going to just get that pressure with the 4, and I think he's creative, but he just, I wish it could be a little more aggression, but it's hard to complain, great win for the Super Bowl.
No, it is hard to complain. Alex, here's the thing. They got 9 quarterback hits on Tom Brady, and we appreciate the call. That's a lot. Tom just made a million good throws. They threw the ball all game, and they used a lot of stuff where they were trying to get the ball out of his hand quickly, screens, and they were working. Gronk on the one drive was unstoppable. I'm not going to subscribe to the idea Jim Schwartz had a bad Super Bowl. They won. They made a play at the end, and that was Tom Brady on their side. And you know what? It doesn't matter now. They won. All right, everybody. I will talk to you guys tomorrow night. I'll be at Chickies at Pete's live doing the show. Come on out. The post-parade party tomorrow night. We'll have a replica of the Lombardi. You can take a picture with it. And tomorrow, here's my my final pre-parade message. Enjoy this, because I think we all think, at least a lot of us do, this is going to be one of maybe more than 1, 2, 3 as the years go on, but you never know. Like, enjoy this, not just because it's the first, but enjoy it because we don't know what the future is. Like, this is it. They got one. Have a great time at the parade. Thanks to Jack for doing a great job behind the glass. Rob Cherry on the updates. And Jack, did you go viral yet on your Eagles tweet?
No, but a final update, final tally before we get out of here. Again, you can follow me at JackFritzWIP. 20 retweets and 97 likes on the tweet.
I was pretty close.
Eagles.
Did I say 2,100?
Yeah.
Listen, you just say Eagles, and everyone's just buzzing right now.
I agree.
Everyone have a great time at the parade.